Are known as larders or pantries and are very useful during the winter and the mating season when energy expenditure is higher. This is how they got their name, the butcher bird, in the first place, since they're the only shrike that practice this larder technique, which is placing their meat on hooks like actual butchers.
Both of these techniques are perfected with practice from a young age. Newly fledged loggerhead shrikes imitate behaviors like hawking or impaling without the actual prey. They even chase around their own parents to practice hunting. That's a whole new flavor of teenage angst. Despite their ruthless hunting behaviors, males of this species are generous lovers.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Hive, my beauties and bees. Welcome to our first annual, because I'm going to try to do this every year, bug drive, where I take up some collection to help make sure I have some beautiful little creepy crawlies in my hive to teach with and to do shows with. And yeah, I just really enjoy having those little creepy crawlies around. Hold on just a second. I gotta fix something here. Just a moment. Sorry. It's gonna bug me if I don't fix it. And I know everybody's been waiting, but I'll be right back, okay? Now that's how you start a fundraiser, right? You dip as soon as the camera gets going. Is that the right way to do it? Welcome to the Hive, everybody. I'm so happy that people are really showing up, because I was kind of worried. I usually, when I do something on a Sunday, I do it a little bit later, like 8, 9. So this was a new venture for me, but I knew I did want to do this on a Sunday so I could spend hours sitting here in front of the computer. So I do plan to be here until 10 o'clock. So that's 10 o'clock my time. And if we go longer than that, then so be it. But thank you all for coming here. There is, if you don't see it, a link both in the description below or off over there with the, in the comments, or no, sorry, in the live chat up at the top, pinned at the top. Go check it out. Just, you can just like $5. Just give me a couple of bucks and we'll get some crazy bugs. I do have the patron dollars that are going towards this too, so it's not going to be a totally dependent on this. We already have a little bit of money in the Patreon fund right now from my beautiful, beautiful patrons who have already given so much and help out so much around the hive. Thank you, everybody, for all that you do to support me and help support my manic hobbies, because that keeps me sane to be able to take care of my little babies. So I hope my audio sounds all right. Let me know if everything sounds good. And let me say hello to everybody I see out there, because I'm seeing lots of familiar faces. Let's see. We have Jason Jacoby. We have Pragmatic Crystal. We have Never Again. We have Godseed and Tux and Dr. Mordecai and Regios, and yay, everybody's just coming in and showing up. Thank you so much. Please consider not stretching my chat all weird like that. How about that? That's for an idea. Why is that doing it? Sorry, this is a new layout, so this was supposed to fill up this whole space. Maybe I can. Anyway, I'm not going to mess with it right now. It doesn't look that bad. I hope you are all doing well this evening. Again, Sunday night is usually something that I spend a little more time doing, like editing stuff and making adjustments and changes to the way that the hive looks, or this or that. I've kind of, like I've said before, I've kind of put a pin in the Gaia channel for the moment, just to focus on getting this channel to where I want it to be, because it's not really there yet. It's getting close. It's starting to come together. There are some of the different shows. I'm starting to get a way that I want to divide stuff up in my head, the proper way to do it. Because there's not always going to be an eco news on Life from the Hive, but I'm adding like a paleo peak and bizarre science to that to mix it up, so that every Saturday you don't get the same wrap up to the show. We'll always do it CryptoCorner, CreationWatch, and then something from the variety grab bag, depending on what comes up on my feed. May even be some community stuff, like I did the video on the spotted lanternflies, just things like that. Who knows what's going on out there? And I am going to try to make this this episode as buggy as possible, and we're not going to skimp on the bug knowledge today at all. So, something I've been hinting at doing for a while now, and maybe it's time, maybe it is the time and place for this to happen, I think it is, was to cover the bombardier beetle, right? But there's some pretty reasonable arguments, and I don't know. I found a short Creationist video about it. Let's see. Let's see what you guys think. Here, we're just going to let it play. See what happens. This is Wonders of Creation, Bombardier Beetle. It's just a 4.5-minute little video. And, yep, that's what we're going to do. So here we go.
Scientists estimate that 4 out of every 10 species of insects are beetles, including click beetles, dung beetles, rhinoceros beetles, ladybugs, boll weevils, and my favorite,
weevils make up so many beetles.
Lightning bugs, or as some people call them, fireflies. Those little guys have built-in bioluminescent flashlights. How cool is that? Pretty
cool. I think that's pretty cool. What do you guys think, Hive? I think having a light up abdomen or butt is pretty freaking sweet. Hey, SPM, it's so good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Yes, we are live. We're doing, I'm doing a funding drive to get me some bugs for the hive. So if you got $5 to spare, you can just buy me a cup of coffee on there. So yeah, anybody and everybody, please, just whatever you got. $5 buys us a beetle. So it's not even, he's talking about beetles right now. That's not even out of the question. $5, you get us a beetle. Absolutely. Yes, bombardier beetles, PZ. Are you ready for this? This is old-timey stuff. We're going to watch Tony Reed after this. I know people have been asking about that too. Tony Reed, yes.
In one sense, beetles are a common bug. That is, they're common.
Okay, so beetles aren't really a bug unless you're being loose with the terms, which I am, on my channel I usually am. I usually use the colloquial term, where even spiders will fall under, spiders and myriapods I'll put under the colloquial of bug, just as a colloquial term. But if you're being technical about it, the bugs are the Hemiptera, he mentioned some, well, no, he didn't. He mentioned the lightning bug, but it's not a real bug either. You can always tell because they squeeze the words together with firefly and lightning bug. If it was really a bug, it would be spaced out and bug would be a separate word, but I digress. This guy's kind of trying to look like Mr. Rogers, though. Yes, $5 will get you, get us a beetle, a desert beetle. It would get us maybe a baby spider or something. I don't know. We'll see what they have. We might go look out there once we're done watching this. We might do something else. We have all kinds of cool stuff lined up for the evening. So stick around, Hive.
Commonly seen creatures, but don't think of them as unremarkable animals. Beetles do some exceptional things that testify to a grand designer. Consider the bombardier beetle, which has a kind of bomb in its belly. The bombardier beetle doesn't have explosives.
That's kind of a, it has more of a superheated super soaker than a bomb. It's pressurized liquid. And that's what a good comparison. Like how you pump up when you were a kid and you had the water guns and you'd pump them up so it'd squirt further. That's what it has. But it only has two. It can only do 2 pumps. It's got one side and then the other side. It fills up these little sacks and they pressurize, right? And then it pushes the. Well, we'll get into that in a second. I'll wait till we do Tony's video to explain too much about it. But we're gonna let the creationists try to fumble with this idea first. Hey, Speed, good to see you. I see Rick out there. Oh my gosh, everybody, hello, hello. Thank you for coming in.
Tied to its back. It doesn't carry around a miniature stick of dynamite. Its insides are not full of nitroglycerin. No, this little bug has tiny glands inside its body that produce two harmless chemicals known as hydroquinones and the more familiar hydrogen peroxide.
If you think hydrogen peroxide is a harmless chemical, then you don't know chemistry for squat, because hydrogen peroxide is pretty volatile, my friend. That's why it's in that special plastic.
The bombardier beetle secretes these chemicals into a kind of holding area or storage tank. Then, if the beetle senses danger and is agitated by an attacker, it quickly moves the chemicals from its storage tank into yet another chamber, which could be called the explosion chamber. The beetle
It could be, but we're not. I mean, explosion chamber. He's making it sound like a machine on purpose, you know, other than glands. At least he used the word glands instead of reservoir or something. There's the reservoir, and then the storage tank, and then the explosive chamber. That would have been more what I expect from some YEC here. But let's continue on.
secretes special catalyst enzymes into the once harmless chemical mixture, making a toxic spray that reaches 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
So we know peroxide is reactive, right? So I mean, let's well, again, I'll wait. We'll wait till we get to Tony's thing. I'm sorry, I want to get ahead of myself here.
Or 100 degrees Celsius. That's right, the temperature at which water boils. So amazing and effective is this bomb-making abilities of the bombardier beetle that scientists have sought for several years to learn all they can from its intricate design features.
Hydrating.
In fact, researchers admit that understanding this beetle better could lead to significant advances in combustion research. Amazingly, when the bombardier beetle bombs away, it doesn't blow up. It doesn't develop.
Why would it blow up? I never understood this argument that it should blow up. Maybe blow out? I can see it blow out, like or springing a leak in one of its what do you call them, explosion chambers or whatever. Yeah, and I could see that, or what was a storage chamber. I don't know. He had some mechanical names for them, but yeah.
Up a high fever and die. The noxious spray doesn't eat through the chamber walls and kill the beetle. No, the beetle sizes up its attack.
All right. So Maya, are you streaming tonight? Cause yeah, I will plug you if you're streaming tonight. Oh, you're not streaming tonight. Okay, good.
Attacker and quickly rotates two rear nozzles at the end of the explosion chamber so that they point in the precise direction of the attacker. The bombardier beetle then fires the boiling hot mixture toward the enemy with pinpoint accuracy in a...
Look how he sprays it all over his own face too. That's got to be pleasant. Kind of a last ditch. Most of the time, chemical weapons are a last resort. Even like venom. Venom could be. I mean, venom is a chemical weapon. It's a chemical weapon you inject into your enemy, and venom is a poison too. I get so sick of this with people like, "Oh, you said poison is snake," or no, venom's a type of poison. Sorry, it is. It poisons your system. Venom's a very potent type of poison, though it has to be injected for most of the time. But yeah, anyway, I keep getting on tangents. Let's let these... this is only a 4-minute video. I'm not even halfway through it, and I'm just ranting, and I've been going for 20 minutes.
A high-speed, rapid-fire, machine gun-like fashion at about 500 rounds or pulses of toxic spray per second. Years ago, Time magazine described the defense system of the bombardier beetle as extraordinarily intricate, a cross between...
You notice it's always National Geographic and Time magazine and HiveScience or Scientific America. Now, Scientific America is probably my favorite, probably the best journal that I could think of out there. But I mean, as far as or not journal. Scientific America is not a journal. The best non-journal scientific publication out there to try to bring the hard science down to a level where we can understand it. yeah, there's the bug drive is for the bugs. We're trying to raise money for bugs because the Hive 2.0 is all prepped and ready to get started, and I am happy and willing to go for hours and hours watching the stuff that you guys like to watch me watch. If you'll help me raise money to get my creepy crawlies, so please consider donating. The link is in the pinned in the live chat and down below. Appreciate every dollar that you're able to contribute. $5 will, like I said, $5 will buy us a beetle. So don't worry about making low number donations, because we are just in it for every little buggy that we can get. And again, we have funding in the Patreon account towards this, so we're not coming into this with $0. I think we had I think it's less than 200 in there, but we have some. I think it was like 158 or something in there, which is a decent base to make an order on. Generally, a full-sized order with us getting enough diversity to have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We are going to want to. It's probably going to be about 230 is generally about the low end with all the shipping and stuff. And that's because when we do this, we have to do high end shipping too, because when you're having animals shipped to you, it gets more expensive. Woke up from your nap, PZ. Yeah, we're watching how not how they evolve. These by the end of this video, you're going to be completely convinced that these organisms were not evolved; they were created. This is going to convince you. I'm sure of it. Sometime in the next. Right now we're at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's a 4-minute and 27-second video. So they have plenty of time left to convince us to drop those knowledge bombs that are going to make anything else but intelligent design seem utterly insane. Let's go.
Between tear gas and a Tommy gun. They noted how the special fluid of the beetle is pumped through twin rear nozzles, which can be rotated like a B-17's gun turret to hit a hungry ant or frog with bullseye accuracy.
So, with the animal came first. So, you would more say the B-17 turrets like the beetle. You know, just because we learn to make our human-made designs with the same physics that nature uses when it's evolving features on an organism. They have the same laws of physics, right? Yes. Okay. So if they have the same laws of physics, then the same mechanisms are going to be necessary to make things. This irreducible complexity is obviously that's what we're dealing with. You guys know that. This is nothing new. So let's let him finish this up so we can get to the fantastic Tony Reed's response video to this nonsense. Because I love. That's why I have never done a bombardier. This is why this is the first time I've been running this little hive here for a couple years now, and I've never covered the bombardier beetle. And arguing with Creationist on a bug channel, you think that would be something? Rotate like a ball joint on a vertebrate limb, which is clearly engineered. Yeah, if everything's engineered, if everything's either intelligent designed or nothing is, right?
A few years later, Science magazine published an article by Jeffrey Dean and his colleagues who highlighted the fact,
again, quoting a magazine,
that the ejection system of the beetle shows basic similarity to the pulse jet propulsion mechanism of the German V-1 buzz bomb of World War II.
What? We used the same physics there too? That's crazy. Who would have thought that we existed in a world with the same physics in World War II as the bombardier beetle had when it evolved sometime after or when they evolved, because there's more than one species too. That's also what they try to make it sound like. This is a one-time thing. This is just a unique creature that was just made this way. There are bombardier beetles that are everywhere, from just spraying stinky chemicals or stinky mist that doesn't burn, to the ones that spray the hot burning fluids and everything in between. We have it all. It's all along the way. Hello. How do you say this? Marina, good to see ya.
Evolutionists allege that this amazing insect is the product of millions of years of evolution. Can you imagine the evolution, really, of the bombardier beetle? If this theory were true...
John, no. No, John. We're not doing that. Come on. This is a fun stream. We're not doing that. Thank you. Yeah, I've had to rush to get my makeup on because my son has band practice tonight. Sunday night he always does, but like I said, usually if I stream on Sunday night, I stream later in the evening. I did it kind of earlier this time because I wanted to make sure I was able to go for a few hours. And so he was still in the bathroom and I wasn't able to get in there and do my makeup and stuff. So that's why I had to reschedule my stream. I didn't reschedule it, but I pushed it back a half an hour. That way he could because he was out the door at 6 and I could get ready.
Then there had to have been a time when the bombardier beetle did not produce a toxic spray. There had to have been a time when it did not store a 212-degree mixture. There had to have been a time when it had never shot anything out of its...
There is. That time's now, too. There are ones that don't have the heat behind it. They do exist that way. So, yeah, the time is now. We have all these different... I keep giving spoilers, but I haven't spoiled anything about Tony's revelations, though. So these are my own.
Back end as hot as boiling water. If so... what would have happened the first time the beetle somehow mixed a boiling hot solution without already having a storage tank in place that could withstand such temperatures? What would have happened the first time this beetle ever blew a bomb out of its back end?
Ask the ones that don't burn, that don't spray the hot liquid. Ask those ones, or look at those ones. I guess not literally ask them, but look at studies into those if you want to find out what happens when it doesn't blow up or when it doesn't heat up. Yeah, it just sprays maybe warm chemicals instead, but yeah.
Why did the beetle not blow up the first time it ever created a bomb?
I love that, Stephanie Helms. This guy shoots plenty out of his back end. He really does. He sounds like the Butts guy, doesn't he? This isn't Butts. This isn't Mr. Butts. He sounds like him, though. He's got that Southern pastor kind of talking voice. Yeah, that's out past the I guess what in his analogy be past the nozzle, like what PZ is saying here. It doesn't reach that temperature inside the chamber. It reaches that temperature through that pressurized pinch point. It's friction. It heats. Yeah. The molecules passing through the pinch point are so tightly packed that's what heats it up. Listen to what PZ Myers is out there saying in the live chat. Yes, it's a pressurized pinch point that causes the heat. The chemical is just the same noxious chemicals that all its cousins spray out.
Do you really think that the bombardier beetle just evolved by chance over millions of years? Or...
no, it evolved slowly over millions of years by selective pressures in the environment. That's not chance. That's not what chance means. We need to stop using that language because you're not using chance correctly here.
Does common sense not call for a creator who made this incredible insect with all of its necessary parts in place at the same time at creation?
Well, dang it, I was hoping he was going to convince me. I wanted to come into Tony's video convinced, because Tony, you all know Tony Reed, right? How creationism taught me real science. He's got a great channel here. If you aren't subscribed to Tony, yeah, Tony Reed, he has 9K subscribers, though. He's not doing too bad. Yes, I'm not subscribed on this account. I'm on, obviously, like you see, I'm on Dennis's account. You know what? Dennis likes Tony too, because Dennis doesn't even watch it. He just watches, he just sees video titles that agree with him and gives him a thumbs up. That's what he does. Dennis does that. So, anyway, let's see what Mr. Tony Reed has to say about this topic. Okay, are you ready?
The tiny bombardier beetle is the evolutionist's nightmare. It has a unique defense mechanism that could not have evolved gradually. Whenever the beetle feels threatened, it turns its backside and releases an explosive mixture of hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone, resulting in a noxious explosion of superheated chemicals at over 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It can even fire 4 or 5 bursts in rapid succession. The animal would have had to evolve all of the explosive chemicals, inhibitors, enzymes, glands, combustion tubes, nerves, and all of the muscles to direct each process perfectly the very first time. Otherwise, it would have exploded. Have the supposed scientists just ignored this? I had to investigate. In his 1996 book, Darwin's Black Box, Michael Behe defined an irreducibly...
Michael Behe. We're in trouble now, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Behe's bringing out his Darwin's Black Box. He's going to open it and show us what's inside.
A complex system as one that contains one or more unselected steps. By unselected, he meant any step that does not benefit the organism. In a 2006 Discovery Institute article, Behe redefined it as a single system which is composed of several well-matched interacting parts that contribute to the basic function and where the removal of any one of the parts causes the system to effectively cease functioning. Regardless of the definition, Duane Gish had already presented the bombardier beetle as impossible to assemble step by step in his 1977 book, Dinosaurs, Those Terrible Lizards. In response to Gish,
it's weird to think that there would have been a beetle section in Dinosaurs, but if you look in that book, then you will see, it's going to be them making a case that the chemicals in the bombardier beetles were the same used by Parasaurolophus, the dinosaur with the horn or crest, I guess would be called, not a horn, but it's got the big thing off the back of its head, that they would make those into the same kind of chamber as the bombardier beetle, so it could breathe fire. Yes. Hadrosaurus breathing fire. That was the proposal when he refers to this.
Mark Isaac published his own hypothesis for how the structure could appear gradually in 1997. There are over 500 species of bombardier beetle consisting of 4 tribes and several genera spanning every continent with the exception of Antarctica. While each species has its own variation of the explosive mechanism, the process is generally the same. Hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide are secreted into a reservoir in the rear. When the beetle feels threatened, the reservoir opens through a muscle-controlled valve into a thick-walled reaction chamber lined with cells that secrete catalases and peroxidases which rapidly...
It's so weird when they call it muscles when you're talking about invertebrates, right? Because it's not really like muscles. It's analogous with muscles, but it's spongy tissue with hemolyth, pressurized hemolyth within it. So when they flex their muscles, it's like it's not tensile strength like our muscles. It's hydrostatic strength that's behind it. A little bit different.
Rapidly break down the hydrogen peroxide and catalyze the oxidation of hydroquinones. Both reactions release free oxygen and generate enough heat to bring the mixture to the boiling point and vaporize a good portion of the mixture. Under the pressure of the reaction, the valve is forced closed, which explosively forces the heated chemicals through the openings at the tip of the abdomen. In some species, this can be done in rapid succession, hundreds of times per second. Instead of combustion, some species can expel a jet of heated chemicals. The chemicals involved are very common to insects. Quinones are very common as a tanning agent for their epidermal cuticles, which are periodically shed during molting. Hydrogen peroxide...
So let me clarify what cuticles are for insects there. So every portion of the body is covered with a chitin, right? And the chitin grows out of a cuticle, and underneath the current layer on the cuticle, they can grow a new layer of their what will harden into chitin when they molt. So it's like the same type of, very similar to the place your fingernail grows out of. Very similar kind of growth pattern.
It is a byproduct of cellular metabolism as the mitochondria produces adenosine triphosphate to power the cell. It is also used by many living systems as a signaling mechanism. So the two active chemicals are already available to beetles even without an explosive defense mechanism. If there is an excess of quinones, however, there is an immediate benefit to the beetle as predators tend to dislike the taste of quinones. This is a very common defense tactic in beetles, millipedes, and caterpillars, among other animals. Although it doesn't...
Yeah, it's stink bugs is where, I mean, it's the same chemicals. Same chemicals stink bugs use, millipedes use those chemicals. Some people are more sensitive to those chemicals than others too. I can hardly even detect them, but like my younger kids could really pick up on the smell of them. Yeah, John, that's cool. I just we don't have to talk about that stuff right now. Just let's have fun and talk about bugs. Thank you guys, everybody being chill and cool, and laughing at some bad creation arguments.
Doesn't help the unlucky individual, it does help the overall population by deterring predators and giving them an aversion to the species. From here, a simple depression in the dermis between cuticles gives the beetle the ability to secrete quinones on command if necessary by simply wiggling. As these simple depressions deepen, they are aided by the development of muscles. The scientific literature is full of observed duplication mutations. As discussed in episodes 12 and 18, results of experiments with Drosophila flies have shown that a single mutation affects the location of gene expression. This includes duplication and relocation of muscles. Whether the result of either a new muscle or a rearranged muscle, the beetle gains an even more powerful and directed stream. Other insects have this very same structure. For example, ants have an identical structure at the ends of their abdomens. This can now be used for both defense and communication.
Chemical signals. Ants use a lot of formic acid in their communications, which is another thing that I don't really smell like other people seem to. It's always been weird to me that I'm not able to smell what everybody else is smelling with bugs. I guess it's the best because I live with so many of them, but I kind of worry that if I ever brought somebody into my hive here, that they'd be like, "Oh, it stinks in here."
Subsequent generations of beetle depend primarily on one or two specific reservoirs. The others become inconsequential and eventually atrophy. Meanwhile, as predators develop a resistance to quinones, different chemicals are selected for. Hydroquinone is a toxin and irritant common to many plants, fungi, and animals, including beavers and bees. With this new chemical, the beetle is even less appetizing to predators. Again, through simple duplication mutations, cells that secrete the hydroquinones...
I think beavers use it kind of in a good way, though. Isn't that in their castoreum? That oil that they secrete that smells like vanilla?
...develop in multiple layers over part of the reservoir, allowing more hydroquinones to be produced. Channels forming between...
I don't do cilantro. That's the thing. I'm not a big fan of cilantro.
Cells allow hydroquinones to reach the reservoir. These channels separate the secretory cells from the reservoir surface, allowing them to become separate organs. At this stage, we still don't even have a novel system. Many beetles possess secretory glands connected by ducts to reservoirs, especially in the beetle suborders Cicindelidae, Amphizoidae, and Hygrobidae. At no point along the way has the structure...
Those were diving beetles, which are also on the... at least at Bugs in Cyberspace, last time I checked, which was just earlier this week, they had diving beetles on the order menu, and we do have an aquatic tank. Excuse me, my throat's getting a little dry here. Just saying.
Required any modifications that haven't been observed in living organisms somewhere, and at no point has any modification failed to add a benefit to the organism. Again, either by duplication or relocation, more mussels adapt which close off the reservoir, thus preventing the chemicals from leaking out when they're not needed. Along the way, the hydrogen peroxide, which beetles have been producing all along in their respiration and cellular metabolism, becomes mixed with hydroquinones. Contrary to many claims, when hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone mix, they do not react violently. They don't even produce any noticeable heat. They simply turn a light brown color. Gish's assertion that the two chemicals explode upon contact came from his mistranslation of a 1968 paper by Schildknecht Maschwitz.
Again, it's like what PZ was saying before. I guess I don't know if he was elaborating on that or not I didn't see it, but it's the pinch point at the end that causes the heat because the size of the molecules for the hydroquinone. I believe. I mean, if that's not the mechanism by which the heat is generated, someone can have to tell me something different, because that, as far as I can understand, is how the heat is generated.
It's in Maschwitz in the German peer-reviewed journal Zeitschrift für Naturforschung. The point of the article was to determine how exactly the bombardier beetle was able to make hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone react so violently. There is no inhibitor present in the beetle, as there is no need for one. This mixture, however, is even more unpleasant to predators. At this point, two other chemical compounds become important. Catalases are produced by all oxygen-breathing organisms as they exhale. In insects, respiration is done through tiny holes throughout their epidermis. Peroxidases are produced by nearly all living organisms through several mechanisms. In prokaryotic life as well as in eukaryotic life, peroxidase often acts as a bactericide, almost like a chemical immune system. Cells secreting small amounts of catalases and peroxidases are located all throughout living systems. Any cells that should appear along the output passage of the reservoir serve to close it off from the outside, allowing for more quinones to appear in the defensive secretions. When catalase and peroxidase interact with hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone, they catalyze the reaction, allowing the mixture to heat up. As can be demonstrated in laboratory conditions, a small amount of catalase and peroxidase has a small effect on hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone, raising the temperature only slightly. An increase in catalase and peroxidase produces a foamy, caustic discharge and fine mist. This is the structure used by the bombardier beetle Metrius as its defense mechanism. As more and more cells are located around the output passage due to selection, the passage becomes firmer, allowing for even more heat and a stronger reaction. As even more catalases and peroxidases are produced, the walls toughen.
It turns into a firing mechanism
And shape into a reaction chamber as the exit becomes smaller and smaller. The pressure created by the reaction forces the opening to the reaction chamber to close during reacting, while allowing for more pressure to build, forcing the compound to be expelled outward in an explosive burst or a spray. We now have the complete bombardier defense mechanism. A longer abdomen would also be selected for, as it allows the beetle to aim its discharge in various directions. Whether or not these are the steps that actually occurred to produce the bombardier beetle's defenses, each one is either the result of changes we've actually observed or co-ops structures and chemicals that are already...
This model that he has here sure does contain a lot of bombardier fluid. It's just blasted.
existing, not only in beetles but in nearly all animals. At every step along the way, the structure serves its basic function of protection and defense. And at every step along the way, the overall fitness of the beetle is improved. Whether or not this is how it happened, and whether or not the bombardier beetle was specially created, their explosive mechanism is not irreducibly complex. They are another example of how creationism taught me real science. If there's a creationist argument you think I should investigate, please comment below. It may become the basis for a future episode. In the meantime, subscribe and make sure you don't miss it.
Yeah, that's Tony Reed. He has a lot of these videos. This is just my favorite one. I've watched all of them at various points, but just different creationist arguments that come up. The last one he made was about a year ago. How creationists taught me real science, vestigial organs, and then see before that, read between the lines. Fossils on mountaintops. Just it's the basic, the bad science arguments that we generally run into is what he's going with here. Okay, so let me catch up with my chat here real quick, and then I meant to load an intermission video on here, and I did not. But anyhow, the next thing we're going to cover is going to be the, well, I'll talk about it when we get over there. I'm just going to go ahead and run that intro through real quick again, and then I'll be right back, okay? Sorry, I'm probably spooking myself out, but Ian's gone and thought I heard someone knocking on the door, so I just went and locked all the doors. So I'm back now. Thank you for sticking around with me. Yep, I got my water. We are hydrating. I did try the Peeps flavored Pepsi. It's really sweet, which is really bad because it makes me really like it. I really like the flavor of it, but it's bad for me. I'm sure I can taste the diabetes inside of it. So, yeah, that's a thing. All right, but the next thing I'm going to talk about, this came up on my feed just naturally because I like bugs, and I watch things like the Hornet King and what's her name, the bee girl, the one who like the really sweet sounding voice. Anyway, so I watch a lot of that stuff on my channel, so obviously I get bug stuff on my feed. But this one kind of triggered me. You guys tell me what you think of this. It's just here.
We're here in Oklahoma, and every morning we've been going on a run. There's these hornets that are covering the cavern wall. We've been throwing rocks at them to try to knock their nests off the wall. We've gotten a few, but we decided to improve our methods, see if we can get out unscathed.
You're gonna hit some fat horneye nests, ruin their lives, and destroy their community.
So they're gonna go shoot down nests hanging on the walls under this. Looks like a dam to me, is what it looks like. But yeah, they're gonna use a wrist rocket, and they are going to shoot their nests down. Wrist rocket and a BB gun. So, and I want people, when they're watching this, to think about those, if those were bird nests, and how people would react. So, like, if that was a bird nest, right, and the birds were coming flying out of there, and the baby birds were flopping down to the ground, Hornets, they can pollinate. Yeah, they like the sweet fluid, so they'll pollinate flowers if they're so enticed. They'll also eat the pollinators though, so it's they're a mixed bag. Hornets are, but they are a social species, and they do their main service that they perform is pest control, because they like caterpillars and aphids and things like that are dangerous in numbers to your garden. So yeah. Yeah, it was a wrist rocket, and I have a wrist rocket somewhere. It's a slingshot that has the strap that goes around your wrist to hold it really straight and steady. I like wrist rockets. I don't got any problem with a wrist rocket. I have a problem with, I mean, maybe I'm alone. Maybe I'm alone in that. Does this bother you guys?
There's a lot of hornets. Oh yeah.
Knocked a couple nests off so far.
So now the cops are coming. People did call the cops. It bothered somebody, probably because they were out there with the air rifle there, and people saw it and didn't know if it was a real gun or not, and they're shooting down there into that. I don't know what you'd call it. They called it a cave, but it's not a cave because it's not natural. But I think this is either like a entrance to a reservoir or a dam of some kind, or a locker dam that they're on here with a road going across it. But yeah, the cops come. They're on public property, right? Shooting, disturbing wildlife, destroying wildlife habitats that were built underneath this bridge. And listen to what the cops say.
Oh yeah?
We have some great footage.
I'll verify that you guys can do it. So.
All right,
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ain't no rule in the rule book says you boys can't shoot at Horneye.
I doubt very much the cops said horneye. Horneye is not the proper plural of hornet. It's hornets. I guess they think they're cute saying that. I don't know, but let's be cute while we torture wildlife. Yeah, spider wasps don't just go after tarantulas, native atheists. There's spider wasps that go after all sorts of spiders, but the big ones, the Pepsis wasp, they'll go after mainly tarantulas or wolf spiders. Turn this down a little bit.
Oh, did you see this one? Oh.
I wish the Hornets could be smart enough to figure this out and rally against these guys and just give them hell, but yeah. And heed my point that I'm not opposed to hornet and wasp nest removal in general. If you own the property and there's hornets on it or there's wasp on it, and for whatever reason you don't want them there, it's your property. Remove them. I don't think that, tormenting them like this is the best way to go about it. I think there are more holistic removal methods if you have a hornet infestation than to do something like this. This is just it's not sporting really, because they can't really, the hornets can't really do anything. They can't get away. They can't run. They can't pick up their nest and take off. They're stuck there. They either have to stand their ground or flee and abandon their babies.
What do you think?
Free range at Horneye, and not really to be scared that they're gonna attack you.
Great vantage point. How many horned eyes do you think we got?
Oh, thousands. Some say success, some say there's still more to be done.
I don't know why it would be considered a success, though. I think that they did. I mean, because they're not really making a. All they're doing is tormenting them. They're not doing a proper extermination where they're removing the hornets. They're not doing a public service, or they're pretending that they're doing here. Of course, there's the meme that all hornets are assholes and whatnot, but they're still animals in nature. And the guys went back and did it again the very next spring. So 1 year later.
Exploding hornet nests with wrist rockets. We made thousands of fans who absolutely loved it, but our biggest critics hated it. They said we should have never hunted horneye.
Oh, I thought it was never make a decision horneye.
I've heard it both ways. Whatever the case, we're gonna go hunt horneye.
So yeah, your biggest critics are probably right about this one, Chief. I think that tormenting wildlife. Yeah, they are saying horneye, like that, like the plural of hornet is horneye. This is the appealing to the lowest common denominator with their actions here.
This is exploding hornet nests with wrist rockets again.
Hopefully the hornet population has recovered. I like how they put like the cool guy music behind it while they're shooting at bugs. You're not cool. I mean, that's not a feat that you're, especially at this distance from them where they can't retaliate. I wish that, if one of them got stung, they wouldn't show it. They wouldn't let us see that part. Boom. There you are. And then, yeah. See, I don't know how many shots they're taking here, but I'm waiting. Yeah, watching these. I watched them through hoping that a swarm would come up at them, but there at least be some flailing. No flailing. They didn't capture any flailing.
Yeah!
Oh.
Got it! They're brave animals. Oh.
They are brave because while you guys are just having a Sunday afternoon in Oklahoma, they're just trying to get their offspring through the early spring and hopefully get them to mature so they can serve their ecological purpose. So yeah, what is to you a fun time is to them probably attempted genocide. So yeah, they're brave. And that was one of those electrified bracket things. I said Oklahoma like that because they are saying hornets like that. So I was paying it forward.
So who's the best shot with the slingshot?
Chuck has been.
That's the whole night killer. Yeah. What's funny is
I think that might be the most annoying thing about it. I didn't realize they went so hard on that terminology. That's not.
After watching that video, we started saying horn eye. I was at home and I said that, and my son was like, "What's a horn eye?" And my wife's like, "He's just trying to church it."
Church it up. Yeah, if you weren't sure these were Oklahomans, there you go. Church it up.
You know what? That makes the whole video worth it. Because some people on YouTube are like, it must be a Southern thing.
Yeah, that's the best part of the video.
Watching the guys walk away. If they say horn eye one more time, I'm turning off the sound. Yeah, we're torturing PZ with horn eye commentary. Watch them as they see their babies plummeting to the ground. Oh. I wonder if they brought that racket thing this time, though, because they did get stung last time. You think? I hope so. I hope that's why they were like, yeah, let's bring a racket this time just in case. What's this on his arm? Maybe he did get stung. That looks like maybe a wound.
Get it?
Jack. Ass. Anyway, yeah, but I'm not totally, I can't watch any more of this at the moment, but I'm not like totally opposed to, yeah, again, like I said, proper removal, but these are just dumbasses shooting insects for fun. It's not, they're not doing any kind of purpose or anything. They're just being assholes. All right, the next thing I wanted to do is just real quick. I wanted to it is being selfish maybe because I didn't I ended up working on this all day today instead of what I should have been working on. So yeah, here was my clipping of a piece of our conversation last night in Germania, where I got to talk about some dinosaurs.
We went from Leviathan to Calvinism, and
yeah,
this Gur is shifting us to Calvinism.
No, we talk about the damn monsters.
Because Jill showed up.
You're saying that my position is they didn't exist at all, but yet I'm on here having a conversation about.
No, I said it in a question format because I wasn't sure. I was hoping you could enlighten us.
No. What I'm saying is I believe the dinosaurs did exist, but they lived on Earth while humans were here. I was simply saying to Jill that there's flat earthers going around claiming that the dinosaurs never existed at all. It was all deception to deceive.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, I'm not saying I believe in that, but that's a theory that people are teaching on the internet.
Did you think there was a point of contention between you and Jill's theology on that?
I didn't hear much of his statements other than he said.
I don't think the Bible is determining dinosaurs at all.
Well, we would disagree on that, but as far as his stance that he agreed that there were bigger creatures back then, we could agree on that. But I disagree with his other statement about the Bible. Doesn't really.
You looking at Behemoth and Leviathan?
I would perceive that they'd be dinosaurs, but I mean that's a topic.
Yeah.
Nothing about those animals describes a dinosaur. Nothing. There's no features described.
Okay, but what creature would you say that the behemoth is? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, the behemoth is one of three mystical beasts of ancient Near Eastern culture. There was the behemoth, the leviathan, and the Z's. The behemoth is a giant bovid. You can tell by the description, especially description of the sinew of his stones, which describes testicles. Now, dinosaurs don't have testicles. Neither do elephants do have testicles, but their testicles are inside. They're not external, so they wouldn't be present. You wouldn't describe them when you're describing the animal. The sinew of the stones is what makes it clear that we're talking about a Borathere, not a Afrothere, which would be elephant.
So you're talking about a giant ass bull?
It's got to be a bovid
with big old fat nuts, just swinging and dangling.
Wait a second. You're saying that.
Why is the Bible obsessed with bull nuts? That's what I want to know. It's always talking about large donkey dicks and big horse cocks and swinging fucking bull nuts. And
ETT has a question.
Yeah, before I forget. Oh damn! Now I got to think about what I was gonna say. Okay, so she brought up. Hold on a second, man. Now she said that dinosaurs didn't have balls, but then I gotta ask her, wait a second, well, how did they reproduce then if they weren't?
They have internal ones. They're
Yeah,
similar.
cool.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
still got them, right? They still are able.
Yeah, but they're not. But you wouldn't
external.
describe them. They wouldn't be they wouldn't be described as sinew of the stones because they wouldn't be external. You wouldn't.
Not
they wouldn't be prevalent.
not all animals have external testicles or genitals or whatnot.
Yeah. Only some groups of mammals that are
Yeah.
specifically regulating their temperature for.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
and then you get to Leviathan, and Leviathan is described as a sea animal. And I know there's, as far as we know so far, there's not been any dinosaurs that were marine that lived in the sea. The closest thing we have is like a Spinosaur, which is we assume to be the Spinosaur family, which are assumed to be
Even that's a little
semi-aquatic.
controversial as far as I know, but we're still trying to figure it out.
Now, ACT and Jill, correct me if I'm wrong, but you two both believe in like predestination, right? That God will only save those who He wills to save, and not those that He does not will to save, right?
I'd say yeah. That
Boy, we went from Leviathan to Calvinism, and
Yeah,
like
I
that, huh?
Gur is shifting us to
Now
Calvinism
we talk about the damn monsters.
because Jill showed up.
Okay,
Calvinism is so fucking boring, though.
Oh, I enjoy it. I think it's fun.
All right. Well, remember what I said though. I had to jump off.
So yeah, that was last night's interaction. That's just part of it, though. I got some more stuff to cut out of there because surprising how many people don't understand these basics of mammalian anatomy, where you can, external testicles are a mammal thing. You don't find those anywhere else in the mammal or the animal kingdom. It's mammalian, and when it comes to the prevalence of them, they're most prominent in Boreoeurotherians, Larazotheres, and Eucontogliers. I that word is always trips me up, but yeah, we all have external testicles for the most part, except for where they were secondarily lost in the ruminant group, which includes whales, and in the carnivoran group, which includes seals, for obvious reasons, because testicles unfortunately cause drag while you're swimming. So that is the main reason why they have lost their external testicles. But Afrotheres, like an elephant, because a lot of people say, I think that Behemoth was an elephant, but elephants also lack the external testicles. So I do like to try to remind people of that time and again. Next on the docket, we have something that's being revisited. When I talked about this as a joke about people's not understanding basic science, and I talked about back a few years before, it was like when Trump was running for president. I remember there were people that were saying that snow wasn't real because of the way it was reacting to a lighter. That has made a resurgence, it seems. So I recently was, and it was SPM who showed me this channel called The Breakdown, where they talk about these things in just these short little clips. So let's watch these this little discussion about this idea that snow shouldn't act this way when lit with a lighter. And I'm going to watch this, and I'm also going to smoke weed. So that is the thing I'm going to do. It is my day off, though, so kiss my butt.
Take a fresh snow, make a snowball. Hang on.
I love it. That's a good move.
And then I'm going to throw it at his head.
Burn it.
And I'm gonna keep pausing it here because they got Dust in the Wind playing in the background, and I'm not gonna get a copyright strike for Kansas. No, not something that's that common of a cultural impact song.
What are you guys doing over there? It's really weird.
It is strange. Isn't that unbelievable? Can't even put out the plate.
Yep, this is what having too much free time on your hands will do to the brain. It's a metaphor. Actually, this is the footage of the latest QAnon conspiracy theory. A video.
It's weird that this is being called the latest QAnon conspiracy theory too, because I remember this from MAGA people back in would have been like 2015, right? When they were doing the same thing. I just remember seeing someone with a grill lighter and a bowl, and they sit there and run it across there until there's black marks all over it, and said, yeah, look, snow shouldn't turn black. Why is it turning black? Not understanding that the chemicals they turn well, at least some of it that turns to carbon when you anyway, let's
video of people at a bar demonstrating that snow is actually plastic remnants sent by a deep state controlled secret weather modification system.
Do it again.
And remember, it's MAGA people they're talking about. So this is the same people that are like opposed to like green energy and stuff like that, and moving away from fossil fuels, which again is tethered like firmly to plastics. You can't get away from plastics without getting away from fossil fuels, and vice versa. So that's just the long and short of it. And I want to remind everybody, the link, if you want to give me a donation you want to donate a bug, one beetle is only $5 on the websites that I use. One beetle can be $5. Some of the roaches are less than $5, so you could even buy me 2 roaches with $5 with donating one. If you donate once for one bug and I get a roach with it, you actually donated and got twice the amount of bugs for the hive for your for your money. So keep that in mind too. We're just doing donations through the Buy Me Coffee. It just seems like when I look through the donation options, it just seemed like the most straightforward and reasonable. So for how we are able to function, please consider just dropping $5, $10. You want to buy some of the. I want to get more. I only have my one blue death feeding beetle left right now, living all a little lonely life there in that huge desert aquarium I got. It's the only tank I have that's not behind me, because I put it in front of the window so that they could get some sunshine, because they're desert beetles. Anyway, so I only have the one blue death feeding beetle and just a couple of different darkling beetles and stuff. But they have packs you can get where you can get like 5 or 10 blue death feeding beetles. I would love to have that. So if you donate three bugs there, we'll go look at the prices after we finish with this video. Let's finish with this video, then we're gonna go look at some bugs, and then we'll continue on with the fundraiser.
Because look, the snow doesn't melt, it burns, and it smells like plastic. So yeah, stick your nose right up in that sooty part where the butane was on full blast. That's smart.
It smells like you were sticking a hot lighter up in there, and that's the chemicals from it. Yeah.
Fresh snow.
Newsweek says this was a joke video put up on TikTok by aptly named A-Hole Dad to make fun of conspiracy theorists. And the creator has no obvious ties to QAnon, but is this really a community that needs triggering?
Thank you, Bill Gates.
And again, this guy wasn't the first. He didn't pioneer this troll. These people actually have been believing this crap for years. Again, I remember this. Maya, back me up. We talked about this from 2014, 2015. You remember this, right? You remember people with the snow and the lighters. It's not a new thing. It's old arguments with the same incredulity and refusal to understand science.
Trying to trick us that this is real snow. You'll see It's not melting.
What the hell?
And it's going to burn. Snow don't burn. Snow melts.
If right-wingers prioritize doing your research like they say they do, why don't they do a simple Google search about why snowballs don't melt from a lighter? They'd get to learn about thermodynamics, a branch of physics that explains the relationship between...
Yeah, and we're about to get that, so you're going to explain how it works. I think most of my people here probably already know how it works and why it's not melting or dripping or anything, but
between heat, energy, and physical states of matter, and that a snowball is porous and absorbs water when exposed to heat from a lighter.
If you make a snowball and try to set it on fire using your lighter, the thing won't melt. The snow will first turn black. Then it'll start to vanish, but you'll get no water. There's nothing supernatural about this phenomenon. The snow is melting, but you don't see it because of the structure of the snowflakes. They kind of wick away the melted water, and it gets absorbed by the remaining relatively loosely packed snowball. As for the black char marks, they're simply traces of soot left by the lighter fluid.
Do it.
Right.
Take a fresh snow.
Oh, I didn't
Make a snowball. Hang on.
But you don't see it because of the structure remaining relatively loosely packed snowball.
I was going to engage clockwork real quick because they said something. One more try. There are some insects that have invaded my house and I don't know what they are. Can I ask you about it? Yeah, you have insects invading your house. If you send it to me, a picture of them, I can probably tell you what they are. I could probably tell you what they are live on stream right now. If you want to send it to me. What's your social media that we're both on together? I'm on all of them pretty much. There's no social media that you won't find me on. No, I'm not on like Mastodon and stuff, I guess. But Richard Matson says, I am a theist. I understand you can get carbon collection on dry paper. Peace and respect. HiveScience. There we go. Okay. Good evening, Richard. How many hours are you on your endless stream now? That's incredible. You and Sammy are managing to keep that going.
As for the black char marks, they're simply traces of soot left by the lighter fluid.
Makes sense to me, but that's too much thinking for them. They don't prioritize education or facts because 1, facts are liberal indoctrination. 2, a deep state weather system dropping plastic is probably the most interesting thing going on in their lives.
Well, if they want to complain about plastic and microplastics, it's literally in our water at this point. We all have microplastics in our body at this point. It's at some level. I think people that live by the coast have it even worse. But there is a real problem here that that needs to be addressed, but it's not in the snowballs. It's not plastic in the snow.
And 3, it distracts them from the reality that they're being ripped off by their government. Hence why the government does stupid crap too. Remember Senator Jim Inhofe's anti-climate change performance in front of Congress, where he threw an unseasonable snowball? Take a look.
In case we have forgotten, because we keep hearing.
We got to remember this, right? Yes. It's snowing, so climate change is fake. When I had PZ on, I think that first time we talked about this, the guy throwing the snowball.
That 2014 has been the warmest year on record. I asked the chair, you know what this is? It's a snowball. And that's just from outside here. So it's very, very cold out, very unseasonal. So here, Mr. President, catch this.
Great underhand for an old guy, but...
I think it was Barack Obama president at the time. Again, Clockwork described it as black like an ant with little wings. Sounds like termites to me, but I don't want to scare you. It could be any number of insects. So if you send me a picture, I'll definitely try to get you an answer. Yeah. If you're on the Discord, Titan just dropped the link there, so you can send it to me on Discord. and we'll look at it.
Just more misinformation making him richer off fossil fuel money, and his voters less informed about the damage we're doing to the future generation's quality of life. The right wing's choice to deny science and focus on made-up, one-off issues like deep state plastic snowballs and people dying suddenly, instead of educating themselves on hard scientific facts about the human effect on climate change and the net negatives of COVID disinformation, it's only making the problems worse. You could say it has this snowball effect. Have you heard any crazy new one-off issues coming from the GOP where you live? What are they distracting people from? Let me know in the comments. I'm Leah Covert. Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to check out
Yeah, I like Leah, so check out Leah. There's a few good people that come up on this channel, though I haven't seen any other anchors that I didn't enjoy. I want to show Clockwork something here, since we're, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Here we go. So here we are. This is on the left, just your ant, you know, your winged carpenter ant. On your right is your termite. So, determining which one's which, it's usually something I have to visually do, unless you can pick up on some of the cues that I can looking at this organism. Longer limbs to body ratio, hourglass figure, which is significant and present in the hymenopterans, and pretty much all of them have some degree of this, with a few exceptions like our chubby little floofers of a bumblebees. But termites, on the other hand, are specialized roaches, and they're going to look pretty much like specialized roaches too. Male roaches have these same kind of, or the same types of wings that we see in termites. The same, they can get ragged and stuff. They're really not, they don't care for their wings very much. Not as good as like an earwig does. Ooh, I want to show you guys that too. Earwigs fold their wings like freaking 20 times when they close them up. But yes, if I was just reading the side chat, sorry. You guys always make me laugh. So yeah, if you can distinguish between these two, then we can know what's inside your house. This one here is a bigger problem than this one. The carpenter ants are going to be less destructive overall than the termites would be. Now, again, they don't look much like a cockroach anymore, but they are. Termites are actually a group of, or a clade of cockroaches. Surprise! If you didn't know that, yeah. And just say V antenna equals ants. Yep. I didn't object to your saying I didn't object to your saying. I said 2 words to you: logic and critical thinking. That's it. What's going on out here? Come on now. Are we tussling? I don't mind a little spice. Let's just not get all Dr. Tapioca Weasels asking for violence and disrespect. Well, Doc, look what you're doing now. Yeah, they don't understand unseasonable weather patterns. They don't. That's the root of the problem. That's where you get down to the balls that we were just talking about a few minutes ago of the issue, is that they don't understand that, yes, it being snowy can be a result of climate change, but they were clinging to the term global warming because they were advising their constituency, and their rhetoric was that if it's warming, then why are we having these cold snaps and cold spells? With things like the polar vortex and the Northwest Passage opening. The Northwest Passage opened for the first time in 2011 in human history that we have any documentation of. Very first time. You know that Northwest Passage that they spent all that time looking for back when the Hudson Bay Company was founded and all that good stuff. That famed Northwest Passage that was just impassable because it was covered with ice. It's open. You can go above Canada now and go from the Atlantic to the Pacific. And that's not a good thing for our weather patterns. That's why we have the polar vortex that dips down now. Specifically because of the water, the cold water pouring into the Atlantic and North Pacific from the melting Arctic Ocean. And I know this has nothing to do with the images that I have on the screen. So I'm going to pull it back in here, and we're going to, I'm just going to put this over here. That's what we're going to be looking at in a minute anyway. So, let's take a quick moment to look at some of the cool critters that are available. This is my favorite shop online. There's a few places I go, but this is the one we're going to look at tonight. And look at what they have to offer. The inventory has been kind of low. The inventory has been pretty consistently low since COVID. So we'll see what they have to offer here. So let's start with the staple. What we definitely need for the hive is some mantises. So when we're looking at these, the ones that say email when ready, those are ones that he doesn't have in stock. So just if it says email me when available, we aren't even going to open it and look at it. But obviously we'll need fruit fly cultures. I can get those at the local pet shop probably for cheaper than this though, so I may not order them this way. Or I like to order them in bulk from Josh's Frogs if I get a whole bunch of mantises. But we'll see how many mantises are available. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is some ghost mantises. We've got 9 in stock, and they're $14 a piece. And I guess the pictures of them are tiny here, though. Y'all aren't going to be able to see those like that. And that didn't help at all. I guess we'll just go with them how they look right here. That's probably the biggest you're going to see them. But I've had ghost mantises before. I actually had both of these color molts, and I have a video on my channel of them mating. They never laid any eggs, though. But that's pretty reasonable price for them, though. I've seen them, depending on the season and things, I've seen ghost mantises run from anywhere from $11 to $25. So this is not a bad price. What does he have in stock? The ghost mantises, let's see. Does he say what instar they are? Offered as L3 or L2 and L3. So with mantises, they grow in instars. That's how many stages of life they've been through. And with mantises, each instar increases the chances that it's going to survive to reach adulthood. They have a really high mortality rate in their first instar. Usually something depending on the species, but it can be as high as like a 60 or 70% mortality rate, depending on the species. But for the most species, most of the common species have a better rate, but like flower mantises and stuff that are more exotic, at least in captivity, have a higher mortality rate just because the temperatures and humidity you got to keep to maintain them. Now these guys aren't so bad because they live in like a dry brush area. So they don't need any like artificial heat or anything on them. Just a warm day and a cool night, and they'll be fine. I keep the hive generally about between, and it's going to sound hot to you guys, but I'm just a hot-blooded person, between 74 and 82 degrees. just because, mostly for these guys back here. So keeping things heated is not really a problem, but the good thing about with being able to do that with the mantises is that doesn't mean I don't have to keep them over here in the heat. I can put them over by the windows and things like that as well. I can get hanging vivariums for them, all kinds of cool stuff. So keep that in mind with the mantises too, that we may get some hanging cages for them instead of doing the deli cups and stuff like we usually do, or like we used to do it in Hive 1.0. I want Hive 2.0 to be better. I want it to be the superior Hive. So this is the goal. All right, so what I'll do is we'll go through and look at some more mantises. So these are $14 a piece. I'd love to have some ghost mantises. We've had them before. He has them at a pair for $35 here. Is this an adult pair, like a breeding pair? So maybe that could be something available as a sexed pair, one male and one female, of large nymphs, L3 or so. They have shed their skin. So these ones have been positively sexed. So we know which one's a male and which one's a female. And having just that little bit of knowledge increases the price. There's only 2 in stock, so I imagine it's the 2, right? It's probably the 2 that... Right now, just to let you know, I have 23 items sitting in my cart. I don't know if any of them are still available. I just did that the other day to keep in mind the stuff I wanted. All right, let's move on, because we've looked at the ghost mantises. So yeah, we got a pair for $35 that's already been sexed. So getting them pre-sexed gives you a little bit of higher cost, but you're guaranteed to be able to breed them if they both survive the next few instars. And I started to explain instars, but if you show insects from the U.S. South, West or Southeast, you've probably killed it. As an exterminator, right, on private property and whatnot, I'm sure. People get scared of different kinds of bugs. But mantises have, the males will have 7 molts or go through 7 instars. And the females go through 9. You can also count the body segments because the female will have 2 more body segments when they grow. So they molt 2 more times than the males do, which kind of is helpful to keep them from reaching maturity at the same time as their brothers and sisters, so that there's not a lot of inbreeding, that they're maturing at the same time at different times than the opposite sexes of their breeding population. It's convenient for them in the wild, but inconvenient for us trying to breed them and to get a good colony going, because by the time the females might go through those last 2 molts, there may not be as much time left for your males as you might hope. But some mantises can live for close to 2 years. Most of them live. I've never had ghost mantises that lived more than 14 months, 15 months maybe. But I've had Asian giant mantises that lived for almost 2 years. I didn't keep track of how, old they weren't. Even any age I gave them would be arbitrary based on when I get them, because I haven't bred mantises in a long time. The only mantises I've ever successfully bred were Asian giant mantises and Chinese mantises, because they're both super easy to breed. And but let's look at what they have as far as giant mantises here. Here's a giant shield mantis. They're pretty cool. Look at that shield on the back there. I hope that helped, Clockwork. I really do. Please, if you haven't considered donating $5, again, this is the 3 or what is it on this donation thing. So if you do, 3 cups of coffee, we could get a beautiful shield mantis. Just 3 cups of coffee, and you can buy the Hive a beautiful shield mantis. So please consider donating. Thank you so much. I'm actually so happy to see how many donations I've gotten. I love you guys so much. Wow. The Hive is going to be chocked full of cool stuff. So if we get this all, we reach our goal at 230, and I'll have to calculate. I'm going to keep this running all week though, and probably keep plugging it as I go through the week. I'll probably have it pinned in the different shows throughout the week as I do premieres and stuff like that, and promote it if you see me anywhere else. I need to be poking my nose out there more. And I need to be sharing some of my interactions in the community with you guys, so you can see some of the other people in the community. I interact with friend and foe alike. I have engagements with creationists and atheists and everything in between. I'll definitely do jumping spiders. Yeah, I may have to go to a different shop. There's specialty shops for jumping spiders, but if we raise enough, jumping spiders. Does the Hive want jumping spiders? I can do that. Let me put that on the poll, because I don't know if Peter is Bugs in Cyberspace. I know so many Peters. I'm Bree, the friend of Peters everywhere. Let me do a poll, and we'll vote on. All right. Am I way behind? Yeah. Okay, there we are. And I'm sorry, the silence will be over in just a minute. Don't leave me. Don't leave. There you go. All right. So now you have a chance to vote on if we do jumping spiders. Obviously, you all know how I feel about tarantulas. They're just my little baby puppy dogs. So, but does this look like something you would like the Hive to have? I think this might be our limit on giant mantises. So these our next Mike Mantis, our next superstar, could be a giant shield mantis. How does the Hive feel about that? Would you like a giant shield mantis in the Hive? I think they are gorgeous. Look at those eyes, and the shield just gives them this unique quality. They look like they have a leaf attached to their back, and some of them it's really prominent too. What other mantises we got? When you see the ones with the symbol like this, with the Bugs in Cyberspace symbol, just means he doesn't have a picture of it. Sometimes there's a video, even if he doesn't, though. But these ones are available too. Kenyan flower mantises. That sounds pretty. It's got the name of it here, so we can actually he Googles it for us. So let's see what he finds, what it pulls up. Ooh, those are kind of cool looking. What do you guys think of this one? It looks has kind of this tiger stripe pattern. Look at the baby one. It has those like the cat eye stick mantis that we had last time. That thing I don't think it lived to adulthood. I think it died early. I think it only lived about 7 months, but it was really cool looking. But yeah, these ones look pretty cool too. They look a little bit smaller than the giant shield mantis though. But that's that one, and they're $14. There's 4 in stock currently. And what we look at right now may not always be in stock. I'll do a shopping stream too once I calculate how much I have to actually spend with all the shipping and stuff, because again, the high-end shipping is what we have to do on this. But yeah, click the link there. Buy a bug bugs in cyberspace or elsewhere, depending on where you have. They have habitats and stuff like this too, which I was considering maybe getting for the mantises these, but they have the small ones as well. But those are more for when they're adults. When they're small, it is better to just keep them in a deli cup, just because they're so tiny and delicate. You want to make sure that they're all contained and well tended, and I do want to keep them over here and keep them warm when they're at those stages of life, right? All right, let's see. Spiny flower mantises, I've got those from here before. They're not in stock right now, that's why we're not clicking on them. See, email unavailable. Orchid mantises as well, not available right now, so we're not going to bother clicking on those. They are beautiful, $33 the cost on those, because they're so pretty. Now, I think on the next page we might see my favorite. Nope. It's not on here anymore. He used to have the devil flower mantis. Idolomantis diabolica is the scientific name for it. Really wicked creature. This is they have a zebra mantis on here. So let's see. Gorgeous shades of green with black and white markings. And yeah, let's see if this pulls up. Yeah, that's pretty cool looking. I like that. Look at that yellow spot on these. I like those. Ooh, the wings are so pretty. Oh my gosh, I've never seen these before. How much are they? $15. There's only 2 in stock. Ooh, wouldn't it be cool if we could get one of those? Wouldn't it be nice? Look at the baby ones hatching. They're so cute. What instar is it? The L2. So these are really young and really delicate. Like I was saying, the younger they are, the higher the mortality rate. So the less chances there are of members surviving to adulthood. And there's only 2 of them. So if they both turn out to be the same sex, you're just at a dead end with them. If one of them or both of them don't survive that second instar, then you could be at a dead end too. All right, so that's the mantises. Let's move on to, what do y'all want to see? I'll give you a minute to pick what we move to next. We can go to beetles, cockroaches, millipedes, isopods, centipedes, tarantulas, scorpions. Scorpions, other insects, alien arachnids, or other spiders. So I'm gonna give you guys a second to pick which one. I just drop it in the side chat. The first one I see mentioned more than once. So the first one that gets 2 picks, that's the one we're going with. So let's do it. 100% people want jumping spiders. Isn't that amazing? You guys are so... Oh, I need to keep the menu up there so you guys can actually see it, don't I? There you go. Sorry about that. There's the menu. But yeah, 100% of people want the... there are mantises that are protective species. The Carolina mantis is a protected species in most states. That's our indigenous native praying mantis. The invasive Chinese mantis, which has a higher population density, is actually invasive. And I don't... It's naturalized. It's been naturalized, but it's going to... people, if you're not going to raise them and you see that Chinese mantis, exact Uthaka is what they call it, you can crush it. Yeah. Let's see. I see spooters. I see beetles going once. I see aliens. So we got spiders, beetles, aliens. Come on, going once, going twice. I see spiders again. We are going to spiders with the vote from Mark Reed and Secular Pagan Mom. So here we go. Spiders is next. Now, the first thing we see on this list is the black hole spider. He doesn't have those in stock, but we have babies, actually, of this. I don't know how many babies she's got left, because she's eaten some of them, I'm sure. I tried to take some of them out and get them established in other vivariums, but they disappear. I don't know what's the deal with them. They're so tiny, though. But I don't have a big lab to keep them in. I need more of the smaller containers and stuff. If I get some of those, which we'll also look at some of the because I don't have any of that here anymore. That's all at my old house. All my bug keeping and bug raising and bug breeding stuff, all my lights and heating pads and all that, unfortunately. So I'll have to start all over again with that stuff too. I won't bore you with the details on that, but let's see what they have as far as spiders. So I do have an adult black hole spider and an unknown number of baby black hole spiders. So we're not in need of those. Let's see. Everything on the top here looks like it's out of stock. Out of stock everything, which includes the captive bred jumping spiders, but we may have to go elsewhere for those. If we do, we'll hit that up later in the stream. I'm going in, like I said, until 10 o'clock, so we still got almost 2 whole hours of streaming left to do. And I do have some content backed up, but obviously not enough to keep us going. There will be something I watch to some extent that may be boring. So I don't know how much into it I want to actually get, but I'm going to give the guy a chance since he actually sent me his book. Let's see. So this jumping spider is also not available. What is available? First of all, grass spiders are available, but I can go out and get grass spiders outside like easily. There's no reason for me to order grass spiders off here. Lynx spiders are available, and they're kind of like jumping spiders. They hunt. They're visual hunters, and they have little spikes all over their legs. They're pretty wicked looking, but I've never got one of these to grow to adulthood either. I've tried it twice, and both times they ended up with bad molts. I don't know if they need maybe more moisture than what I was giving them. But we'll see. Like maybe putting when they're small like that, keeping a damp paper towel is what needs to happen. But we may get one. They're not expensive. Pretty cheap. There's 7 in stock. You can get 6 of them. So like basically, if you go to the link there on the in the side chat tagged at the top, you can buy me a link spider with one donation. With one single donation, you can buy me a little link spider, a little green spider. We are going to probably get some jumping spiders, though. I think that it seems like they're in high demand here in the hive. I've had jumping spiders before, but I never really spotlighted them because they don't show up well on stream. Like when I'm on camera and stuff, they don't show up well on the mic. All the little bitty stuff doesn't, so that's why I always try to find the biggest species that I can. Stuff that I can show you guys easier, but they are cute, and I have my phone that I have now has an amazing camera on it for capturing bugs. So yeah, look out for that if we get some jumping spiders for sure. If anything, I'll catch some wild ones next year because there's these tiny little black and white zebra ones that live here that I love to death, and then there's the big gray ones and the big black ones with white spots. Bold jumping spiders as well. Let's see. But back out to the spiders that are available. There's also Hogna antilucana. Antilucana, yeah. Hogna antilucana. So this is a wolf spider. Hognas are wolf spiders. I know that. And they're indigenous, so this is probably one that Jay is familiar with. Yep, he's gonna know this chick when I pull her up. You recognize this girl, don't you, Jay? She's giving you many a run for your money with her big gorgeous eyes. This is a wolf spider. And $7. Still got one in stock. Generally pale and bulky and have nice markings on the cephalothorax. This might be a good one to pin. I have not had too much success with pinning true spiders either. When they death curl, I always end up breaking their legs. You got to get them pinned in just the right time frame. It's so delicate. Yeah, and these ones, I guess they can get pretty big. Every time I've ordered a wolf spider from Bugs in Cyberspace, I'm not gonna lie, it's always been disappointingly small. When I get a wolf spider, I want a giant wolf spider. The best wolf spider I ever got was the wolf spider Tobin Templeman sent me last summer. She was so big and gorgeous, and unfortunately, she was one that I was going to pin that did the death curl, and then I couldn't get her to splay out without breaking her limbs. So, yeah. And I like doing the taxidermy too and preserving them and having them hang up behind me. So I will get new taxidermy set up as well. I don't know if you guys like that in the background behind me, but I sure do. It makes me feel like I'm actually got some scientific specimens to show you if I don't have any alive in my collection. A lot more jumping spiders here, all out of stock across the top because the Phidippus is a jumping spider. The regal jumping spider, those are out of stock. Rabid wolf spider. Fishing spiders out of stock. Lots of stickers. There's a small wolf spider, probably an unknown species. And lastly, there is a Western Parsons spider, which I don't know if I've ever heard of under that name. See, Western Parsons spider is a fast-moving spider that wanders in search of prey. Their markings are very pretty, and you can see at Bug Guide link below, leg span doesn't seem to exceed 3/4 of an inch. Usually we ship them at about 1/2 an inch. Now let's see what Bug Guide says they look like. Looks like a little wolf spider is what it looks like to me. Kind of cute. I like the fluff. But I bet that it seems kind of like they're kind of tiny though. All right, let's see. There was that one. So that's all the true spiders. So no jumping spiders here, unfortunately. No jumping spiders at, I can't believe that the poll was 100%. 100% yes. Nobody, 12 people voted on it. Was there a sand spider on there? I've got a sand spider from here before. I don't see one on the list right now. And if there's no link for it either. He's never had black widow spiders. I always got my black widow spiders from Ken the Bug Guy because despite them being indigenous here, I'd never see them. The only time I've ever seen them was when I was crawling under a house when I was putting in satellites way, way, way out in the country. But they're plentiful, as I understand it, in more warmer climates. But Ken the Bug Guy doesn't really have too much going on anymore. It does, like, his site's done. All right, so since we picked spiders, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next group of spiders and just stick with spiders here and look at what tarantulas are available as well, because I love tarantulas. All right, so no Lasiodora parabana. No bueno. No Honduran curly hair either, which is probably one of the most common in the pet trade and the one with the best reputation for being docile and easy for beginners. So it wouldn't hurt to have something in the hive like that. So if I do have any physical guests and for me to be able to bring two better so people can hold, it wouldn't hurt to have one like that. It's a Mexican red knee tarantula. $34. Hey, that's not too bad. Is it actually a Smith eye? It is a Smith. No, it's a Harmony. Red knee, yeah. Harmony, okay. I have a harmony. Or I keep saying harmony. It's Himori. I always transpose those. I'm dyslexic. Surprise. Actually, I'm getting tested for that here shortly. Find out if I do have that, because I struggle sometimes. If you struggle, that's okay. We all struggle some days, and I'm here with you, so you're not struggling alone. Yeah, 1/2 inch, so it's a baby. Nandu chromatica. I did have one of those. Actually, I had one of those that died here, and I feel so bad about it. Because it died after having another spider that had a bad molt. This one had been with me for a while when I raised it. I got it at a bug show in St. Louis, and I raised it from a size of my thumbnail, right? It was like little bitty. It was the size of my thumbnail to where it was, that big. It was only half grown, too. It was going to get a lot bigger. And it had its dang bad molt. Now, one of my favorite baboon spiders right here are the orange bitey things, or OBTs. They are of this really vibrant orange, and they have a reputation for being aggressive, but also for being super hardy. The punchline used to be that OBT could be kept in a old coffee can on a substrate of broken glass, and they'd thrive. And I think it's true. They are legitimately badass tarantulas, probably the most hardy tarantulas that I've ever had. And there are actually, the one I had was actually a decent heavy webber too. Put up lots of good webbing around the enclosure I kept it in. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any available, or otherwise I would definitely get one. Titocaudal vagans used to be Brachypelma vagans. Now it's in its own group, but they are black with a big red abdomen, so they look really cool as well. Unfortunately, also one that he doesn't have in stock. So far on spiders, tarantulas, there's just this one species in stock, and that's it. But who knows? You might get some more. All right. Do you all want more to look at more of the bugs that are for sale, or do you want to do another video? Because I got some Big Bad Mama comedy lined up for us too. So it's whatever you guys want to do. Again, I will leave that to the audience. The first, I don't want to do a poll for everything, but the first one that I see come up twice is the one we'll do. So it's either pick a bug from this list, or you can type in BBM if you want to move on to the comedy section. And as you guys are looking at that and making your votes again, I'll bring this to your attention. Habitats and accessories are going to come in here and come into play too. Whatever I get, I'm going to have to make sure that there's home for, and I have the proper diet for. I don't have any fruit flies right now, so again, I can get those locally, but we'll have to see what's available on the local market as well. But habitats, I do have a few habitats, but not a lot for really small stuff. And I have a feeling that whatever I order here, it's going to be a lot of really small stuff. Do you want to pull for everything, Tapioca Weasel? God dang it. Let me see. All right, there you go. There's some choices. And if you want something else, you have to write it in. Do I have... Oh, hey, we got some transphobia. Sweet. I don't pretend. No, so let's address that. So I don't pretend to be a woman. I identify as a woman. It's different. Being a woman is part of who I am and what I see myself as, and how I want society to see me, and how I want to be engaged in society. So when you say that I'm a guy, I use guy colloquial again to mean multiple people, right? I can mean men and women when I say you guys. I don't have any distinct meaning about that. But as far as pretend to be a woman, I'm actually I am a trans woman, which means that my gender, which was what man and woman are, they're two kinds of genders. They're not the only ones, but they're two. When you say man and woman, it's one of the people that fall into those two groups. And it is either going to line up with the sex that you were assigned at birth, which was generally based on the genitalia you were born with, but also the way your body developed through puberty. And sometimes they line up with the gender that you identify as, that your brain lines up with, is different than the sex that you were assigned at birth, and that makes you trans, which means other side of. So you have cis, which means this side of. So your gender and your sex are on the same side. And then you have trans, where your gender is on the opposite side of the sex that you were assigned. So other side of, that's where you get those terms trans and cis. And they're not they're not necessarily, it's not derogatory in any way to use the terminology cis and trans to describe and to say that you are a male trans woman is redundant. We all know that I was assigned male at birth. Everybody in here knows that I was assigned male at birth. We come to YouTube actually because sometimes it's better and safer for us as part of a marginalized group, especially someone who lives in a rural area like I do. I live in the Midwest, probably the smallest city in the Midwest is where I live. Not a lot of love for trans women here. So this gives me an opportunity to engage with people in the real world, where it's safe for me, where I can have my community who comes in here and loves me and shows me support and supports my content and donates money to my fundraiser because they like me. I find that easier here online than I do in the real world. And now, a thing that may come to mind to a lot of these people who ask these types of questions is, yes, and it's every day, Maya. It does. We don't ever get a day off. We don't ever get a day off from having this conversation. There's no shortage of people who want to ask questions, and that's fine. I'm fine with questions. This is something that's newer. Like I was talking about last night on Gur's stream, there are countries where trans women are completely integrated, especially Southeast Asian countries, where there's not so much. Where the sexual stereotypes aren't so. I don't want to overgeneralize. There's a lot of different cultures over there, but a lot of them are more open, and so the trans community is totally integrated over there. It's great, but not so much here in the States. And there are a lot of us online in comparison to how many of us are supposed to exist in the population, and I don't know what that means. I am different. Yes, being different can be scary, and I don't mean to scare you. I'm also not trying to attract you though. So don't. There's a fine line there, right? I'm not a trap. I'm not trying to say, hey, don't you think I'm sexy? Surprise, I have a wiener. I don't really care if you think I'm attractive. If you think, oh, I'm obviously a guy, because the people that matter, you're not one of them when it comes to that. But if you want to hear about bugs, if you want to talk about science, my channel's all about it. So if you want to help out with the bug drive, we have a link right. We have a link right up here in the live chat for the explanation on trans and stuff. Maybe you can give me you can buy me a beetle. You can buy me a spider. Some of these spiders are cheap. And yeah, but let's go back to the topic that we were on. Sorry guys, didn't mean to derail everything, but sometimes Mama's got to explain what's going on. Mr. Tapioca Weasel, I'm taking away your doctorate. Let's see. I'm here for polls to have polls. Yeah, we should have a poll about whether we should have polls. Did people vote, or did you all get distracted? You did vote, but it's tied. It's tied. We gotta. No, it's not tied. More bugs. More bugs. We are down for that. Yeah, let's do it. So, more bugs. Now you gotta again. I'm not doing a poll. I can't do a poll for all the options on here, so you gotta type it in, or you can send in the. I think there's YouTube icons for some of these too. So, use the bug icons, or you can type it in. But vote. You voted first, SBM. I know you wanted those jumping spiders that last time. Yeah, I'm not the one that derailed it. I know. I do like to make it clear who I am and what I'm doing, though. I don't pretend I'm not trans. I'm very vocal about being trans. I'm an activist. I tend to try to push the envelope on things, and I'm not afraid to engage, and I'm not actually insulted by your rhetoric. Trying to hurt me and insult me about being trans doesn't work. There are ways you can hurt me, though. I'm a human. I bleed. But there's no big bad. We're gonna get big bad mama is gonna get a video. Don't worry. We got a big bad mama video lined up right now. Okay. No worries, but we got to do bugs because people voted for bugs. I can't put all the choices up though, so you all have to type in what you want. Do you want roaches? Do you want beetles? Do you want millipedes, isopods, centipedes, scorpions, other insects, alien arachnids? You have to tell me. You have to tell me so I know which one to pick. First one with two. I love blue death fiending beetles. I think they're super cool. Do you want to get some? I know I want my own bugs because there's so many bugs that don't have an emoji. There's no mantis. So we got scorpion. What do we have when it comes to bugs? We got to vote for scorpions, by the way. Scorpions is in the lead. But we have, when it comes to bugs, you got a ladybug, green beetle. You have, I went too far. I'm scrolling through the list here. Hold on. yeah, you have, when it comes to bugs, you have, a worm, you have a butterfly, the worm, you have a worm and a caterpillar. So, I mean, worms aren't really bugs, but you have a snail too. And you also have an ant, a bee, a beetle, a ladybug, a grasshopper, a cockroach, a spider and a spider web, a scorpion, a mosquito, a fly, and then you do have some other invertebrates like squids and stuff. But yeah, there's crabs too. Oh yeah, crabs. I almost forgot. There's crab and lobster, which are also, you can also vote for, but we can also purchase, but we're not going to get them here. Roach, hey. Wow, you guys. You're growing. The hive is growing as people, because I had a lot of the hive that was still anti-roach for so long. It's hard to make a case for them because they're not as charismatic generally. But there's some cool ones. Domino roaches. These are not in stock right now, but these are dubia roaches. I have these. I don't have any centurion roaches. This one's extinct in the wild. Isn't that crazy? They got chrome roaches too. You want to see what they look like? I'm curious as what a chrome roach looks like. So these are $2 a piece, and there's 9 in stock. So again, if you donate and you buy 2 cups of coffee, that's one, or that's, you donate, you buy 1 cup of coffee, that's more than 2 of these roaches. You want to see what they look like? He has, that's the link to the care sheet. Ooh, there's a video though. I love when he has videos. Come on, Peter, can I blow it up? No, gotta do it this way.
Good so close-ups of the nymphs and the way the substrate sort of adheres to them. Camouflages them in a way. Not that they have any predators here in this tank. And then this sort of ghostly looking adult. A little bit of a shine on it. Chrome roaches. Almost looks like eye spots there.
Yeah, those do look like eye spots.
The face of a dog, if you look carefully.
Got little babies hiding underneath her.
The nose down here. I don't know.
It kind of looks like a
sort of butterfly,
like a Casey Jones mask,
like other Gyna species.
Like, remember? I don't know if any of you guys were Ninja Turtle fans when you were kids. Yeah, ironically, I was just talking about being trans when I was a little boy. Anyway, this Casey Jones. It's funny because I was so gay for him. I didn't understand what it was about Casey Jones from Ninja Turtles that I was like, why do I want this guy to be on the screen more? But yeah, that's a Brie thing. But yeah, I could see like a Casey Jones mask or maybe a Jason mask, like Friday the 13th. Yeah, these would be cool to have, don't you think? Yeah. We need to get a few of them, though, because he only has 9. And we need to make sure we had a good breeding colony. He has a roach care sheet here, too. But they're really cool looking. Did I win you guys over on roaches? Do you see the charisma in the way that they look? Looks like Wilson the soccer ball. Yeah, if we get some some of these domino roaches, they're not in stock right now. We had some, but I don't know what happened to them. I probably didn't keep the They're desert roaches, but I kept them with millipedes. I think maybe I kept it too moist for them. I'm not sure, but they also didn't do good with all the moving and stuff, because they're hard to keep track of. But we'll get some more when they become available. But let's keep going here. So that's the chrome roaches. Giant cave roaches. They don't have them, but glow spot roaches glow in the dark like a lightning bug. Bet you didn't know those were a thing, did ya? Wish they had glow spot roaches. I'd glow spot roach this whole place up. It'd look like a disco in here. But they don't have them in stock right now. You can get a bag of a leaf bag, dried leaves. Look at this. This is the rhinoceros roach. This is like the golden. I know that's not available. I'm going to look at it anyway. And there's a reason. It's $89. These suckers live for, they can live for up to a decade. They're bigger than Madagascar hissing cockroaches, which is what I have up in here. I have hissers. I have a pretty good thriving colony of hissers, to be frank about it. But, but he's got a video of this one too. We're gonna look at these. These guys would be so cool to have. $89. That's an expensive roach. He doesn't have them in stock right now. No shipping to Tennessee. I guess you can't ship roaches to Tennessee. They live about a decade though. They're long-lived, slow reproducing. Again, he says they're the most sought-after species of cockroach on the market. So if you guys ever see these anywhere and you want to buy Bree like a special gift, some of these would be amazing. I wouldn't take just one though. Well, no, I would take one because I could work on getting a second one. Yeah, glow spot roaches are gorgeous. They're like, there's ones that have the glow spots look like faces too. But I want to watch the video on the rhinoceros roach real quick, okay? We're going to make that, we're going to open this in a new tab.
My rhino roach.
She's so cute.
And
look at the babies.
Her babies.
Aww.
Invertebrate dude, I made you a promise.
Look at her.
I think it was on my
It's
YouTube
like
channel.
Tell me that doesn't.
Tell
me that doesn't remind you like of a mother pig with her little baby, with the little baby piglets, and roaches. Yeah, hold on. Roach milk is what I was going to talk about. But yeah, let's.
How you really wanted some rhino roaches, and I told you, because of all of your wonderful contributions to the hobby, that I would give you a pair of them the next time some were born.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
That's pretty cool.
Here it is, Macropanesthia rhinoceros, the rhino cockroach, or rhinoceros cockroach, or giant litter bug, or just the litter bug.
We need to get you like
the
a lapel
giant
mic.
burrowing cockroach. There are many common names for this amazing species. They are the heaviest roach in the world. This here is an adult male. He's not particularly large. Sometimes they're considerably larger than this. I've had ones where the male was twice the mass of this one. He was maybe this much longer, and then maybe...
Yeah, I have Madagascar hissing cockroaches. My big male actually died recently. I still have baby ones. That some of them are bound to be male. I don't have any adult males right now. I just have one adult female. And she doesn't like the babies because they're not hers. So they don't smell like her colony. But they'll add some diversity to it when they grow up. They'll add some diversity to the colony.
Maybe, I don't know, another 50% as wide as this one. A lot of variation in the size of this very long-lived.
That's the female too. That's the one that had the babies. The males will be bigger than that. So yeah, and they are about the same. They do grow to about the same length as an adult hissing cockroach, which is I think like 3.5 inches long or something like that. But these guys get a lot bulkier. That's why they call them rhino roaches, and their horns are bigger than Madagascar hissers. I think that rhino roaches can hiss too. We're not going to watch this whole 53 minutes, but we'll watch some of it.
They can live a decade, actually. This one here,
was actually born about 8.5 years ago. Because of their long lifespan, it takes quite a while for this species to mature, 3 to 5 years on average. And then in turn, it can take them 6 years before they first reproduce. And of course, this is the cockroach that everybody wants. And there are a few reasons.
Oh, it's just so weird to say that I'm a cockroach girl, because I started off as a spider girl, a tarantula girl. And then I was looking for ways to get more exotic tarantulas online, because I was only able to get the ones at the pet shops. And I saw mantises on there, and I started doing mantises, and like, God, I fell in love with raising baby mantises and watching them grow and mature and then go through their life cycle. It was so fantastic. But then, since I had so many predatory insects, running to the store and getting crickets all the time was too much of a hassle. So I started raising my own roach colonies. And one of the guys that I got my first colony of dubia from, the feeder roaches that I use as a staple of my colony. He had some giant hissers, and I remembered my science teacher when I was in high school had giant hissers on the desk, and I always thought they were cool and wanted to play with them. I thought it was funny that everybody else was like so off put by them. No, not pissing cockroaches, hissing. They push air through their spiracles. It's pretty cool. So I was like, sure, I'll get some of those. And I started raising those in this forest floor biome tank. I used to try to raise millipedes with them. I don't like that anymore. When it comes to the Madagascar hissers, I don't put them with anything else anymore. If I did ever put them with anything else, it would probably have to be another species of roach. I wouldn't put them with anything else. But yeah, Jason, you have hissers? How many hissers you got? I don't have a huge colony. I do feed from my hisser colony sometimes when it starts to get too populous. But I think I have like somewhere between 8 and 12 probably. Maybe more than that if they've had new babies that I'm not aware of. But I do need to set up their heat better so that they have more natural life cycles. All right.
Reasons for that. They are very rarely sourced. They only produce one batch of babies per year, and despite living so long, most people only get one brood out of them during the entire course of their lifetime. I have a female that you will see later that has produced for us twice now. And again, she is the same age as this male, 8.5
Oh, that is a
years
male.
old.
I thought it was a female.
So their long
His
lifespan,
horn looks so small, though.
Their size.
I've seen Madagascar hissers with bigger horns than that. I'm not trying to horn shame him. Horn growth is all about the nutrients they get when they're in their younger stages, right? So it's not his fault if his horn's that size. It's just that it's really, it doesn't change anything about him. He's just as valid with his small horn as a roach with a big horn. And I want everybody to know that no matter the size of the horn, the male roach is valid.
Size being the heaviest roach in the world, and again, this is a small specimen, along with their time to maturity.
Hey, Nisha. Good to see you, sis. Oh, cool people are showing up. Yeah, I've had over 20 viewers this whole time. We've almost reached 30 there for a little bit. I think somebody else must have went live or something. Maybe there's a certain amount of people who don't who don't like the bug stuff. I'm sure there are, because my channel is kind of a variety channel, and that's a good reason. Let's move on. Let's get back to shopping, though, because we got more roaches to go through. You all asked for roaches, and I'm going to squeal like a little girl about them, because you guys know I love roaches. That's all of them on this page. If there's none on page 2, we're all roached out. Ooh, no, we do have... They got the orange spotted ones. They just got the white spotted ones so that they're there, for example. What do you guys think? Orange spotted roaches. He's got 12 in stock. We could order them all and have a colony of 12 of them. Has he got any videos on these? They're so cool. They're about the size of a quarter. Or for the people in the U.S., what's a comparable coin to a quarter? I don't know what the UK coins are even look like. I should have had Robbie bring me some coins. That would have been something simple to... That's something we dang it, Maya. That's what we could have sent back for Elena. She would have been thrilled just to have those American coins. Should have just... yeah, anyway. Should have, would have, could have. I missed a lot of opportunities to send stuff to my friends in the UK via Mr. Math Pig. Yeah, it's good to see you though, Nisha. You're gonna watch me be... Did you donate? Oh, thank you, sweetie. She's like, yeah, why is this crazy girl I don't know why this crazy girl wants to buy cockroaches, but here, I'll give her some money. No, I hope you guys appreciate my passion for these creatures. You saw I have a clip of me handling one of these domino roaches that I play pretty regularly on Live from the Hive. Just pull it up every now and then as one of my transition videos. So if you've seen that, you know that this is a species that I really enjoy handling and really enjoy showing to you guys. And they are one of the ones that I use to try to explain to people that, you know, cockroaches aren't just the pest that live in your house. There are 12 species of cockroaches that live as pest species in human dwellings. And only 5 of those can live as pest species in human dwellings in a temperate zone. And that's of... I don't have that exact number. God dang it. I shouldn't have started this conversation with the exact number. How many species of cockroaches are there? I don't want to mislead you, so let me look it up. $4,500 species of cockroaches, and 30 are considered pest species, but not all of those pest species can live in a temperate climate like where I live. So yeah, in Florida, for instance, there's going to be more indigenous cockroaches, a lot more, but mostly you're looking at wood roaches and things like that. You're looking at, I saw somebody, did somebody new pop in? I saw somebody saying, hey, Bree. I like palmetto bugs. If you want to send me palmetto bugs, hit me up on social media and I'll send you an address to ship them to. Preferably more than one, though, so I can get a breeding population. Preferably. But yeah, if you let me know. They can't live in the wild up here anyway. I love Florida bugs. I wish I could go to Florida. I try to see if Skylar will put me up for a weekend and I can go run around down there in the summer and catch bugs. I don't know if me and Skylar know each other that well, but he's the only person I can think of that I know that lives in Florida. At least in the part of Florida where the bugs are unique. So anyway, yeah, these are currently probably my favorite one, but let me show you something about these because this is pretty cool. They come in Riddler variety too. Well, they have those in stock as well. These ones have the question mark on them. This one doesn't really like a question mark. I've seen some of them where it's more separated, but like, I wish it was green. Wouldn't that be cool if it was green? I could, but if I could edit it and make it green and do like a Riddler thing with it. I just change the tinting a little bit, make it green, and make it like the Riddler, but with the question marks on them. $1.75 a piece. So you guys, for just buying for the price that you think you're paying for one bug, the $5 for one bug, that based on the price around the price of a standard desert beetle. You could buy me. Now I'm gonna have to do math because I already put myself out there. No, you could buy me. Three of these guys. 3 of them. With change to spare. These gorgeous question mark beetles that look like the Riddler. Yeah. I'll even get. Oh, dang it! I don't have that here. I have a cute little bowler hat that I could wear with it. Maybe I could do something for my OnlyFans on that too. Do I have any of my OnlyFans followers out here? Hi. Yeah. But here, let me watch the video on this one too, as long as it's not 5 hours long like that last one was. Let's see.
The question mark. Riddle me this, riddle me that.
Aren't they so cute? They do kind of look like ladybugs. There is a
This
species.
is my question mark roach bin.
I'll let him talk.
And I've just put a fresh jelly cup in there for them. The adults in particular love those. There's an empty one. You can see they really cleaned it out. I've got some apple bits in here, some leaf litter that I crush up on the surface, and then this pellet food here.
And I do my roaches, not Shaman Peter's setup here. It looks just perfect to me. It looks exactly like mine for my dubia. But when it comes to the desert roaches, I found out that they really like a lot of leaf litter. So you can kind of go wild with it and cover the whole floor with it. So you can have your substrate and then the leaf litter on top of it, and it'll be like hog heaven for them. That whole tank up there for the Madagascar hissers is like that too, because they love the same thing. I have lots of palm fronds and stuff, so it's really a lot like their natural habitat.
I just kind of drop over. They work through it pretty quickly, but I usually feed them once per week.
And the babies don't
nymphs,
have the
that are all sort of congregating there in the recesses of this egg carton.
They don't have the
and these
markings.
are the adults. Some of them, the question mark symbol is connected, and then in others it's all by itself like that. Looks like apostrophes on the back end there, kind of. These are really, really easy roaches to care for.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look around here for a specimen to see if we can find one that is maybe carrying an egg case still.
Yeah, and the another cool thing about roaches is that they don't just lay their eggs generally. They don't just some species do, but they will. These ones and the dubia too. They will actually carry them around, hanging out of there, and they'll release them out and pull them back in to keep the temperature regulated. They're really good mothers. I know it's weird to think of them that way, and these aren't like, again, pest species live in your house. These are wood roaches, desert roaches that live in organic biomes. They wouldn't do well in your home. They wouldn't survive in your home. You could release like a jar full of these guys into your house, and in 2 weeks they probably would be all dead in 2 weeks, because roaches are known for being able to survive for a really long time, but they wouldn't be thriving and breeding in your home. They wouldn't be happy there.
Nymphs burrowed into the substrate. The egg cases themselves are just dropped right into it, and so I try to keep it a
maybe
little
the
bit on the
species
moist
does
side.
drop the egg
The
case.
species can handle a lot of dryness, but if you keep the substrate moist on a regular basis, the egg cases will hatch much better. Let's see if I can find, there she is, right there. So this female, you can see an older egg case that's separated from her that I just happened to pick up from the substrate. And actually...
Yeah, see how she's poking it out like that?
Light. So it's actually already hatched. You can see I'm just breaking it up here and it's empty. They sometimes look like they're intact, but this one had already hatched. I can tell by the weight of it. And this female here, she has a paler egg case, a fresh one, that she will detach in a little while. They just carry them around like this while they harden outside of the body, and then they drop them into the substrate. And so that...
Yeah. And there's a fresh jelly right there. We'll probably, if we order this stuff, we'll probably get a case of that too. He sells them here as well. The beetle jellies. You can see them when you go to the shop. Yeah, food and feeding. Yeah, dry food products, I believe you'll find them there. But let's see what other roaches were available, because I thought I saw some. Red runners we have. We have red runners in spades. We have more red runners than we'll ever need for food. But I don't know what this species is, do you? Let's look and see. Oop, I didn't mean to open it. I guess that's fine. Redhead roaches have a brownish purple sheen with a red-orange head. They have a slight resemblance to blister beetles, causing me to wonder if they mimic some species in Africa where they are found. So he doesn't give a species name here, though, so I don't know what to look up to find out what species this is. It'll remain a mystery for now, I guess. He's got 8 of them in stock, though. All right, and we looked at the question marks, looked at the orange spots. Here's a big burrowing roach. There's another giant white-horned hisser. There's another glow spot roach. This one just has a spot, though. Not in stock, but that's too bad. All right. I'm going to pick the next one. I'm going to pull the queen bee move, and we are going to look at beetles. So Agroporus red-legged tinub. Okay. $5. So that's this is what I based everything on right here, is the price of a regular beetle. Communal desert beetle. Yeah, so if we see photos at Bug Guide, we can do that. Yeah, I've had some of these before. They have red legs, dark bodies with banding on their bodies. These would go in with my desert vivarium over here, which I will do like long form videos where I talk about them when we get it filled. You can look forward to a story time format that I'm planning on doing with them on. It'll be on TikTok, and I'll do shorts on YouTube, maybe Instagram, or yeah, if I do it on Instagram, it'll go on Facebook too. Twitter, I don't know, but we'll see. But yes, so help me buy desert beetles so that we can have an active, live, bioactive vivarium that I can treat you all to the experience of interacting with it. If they have velvet ants when we place the order, velvet ants also live with these beetles in a communal tank, and it looks gorgeous. All these beetles and velvet ants just scurrying around. You can I like to give them fruit and honey, and give them a little bit of maybe some wild roughage every now and then to munch on. Give them anything that dies all the all the dieback from my roaches go in there. If one of my spiders or anything dies, it goes in there so that they can compost it and keep the culture going. They actually have live cactuses in there now, which is also part of the reason why I put it over there by the window. But yeah, these are the kind of beetles that we can definitely raise in the hive. Let's see, what else do we got? Yeah, it's nice to have them with two-tone because a lot of them are just black, like these armored darkling beetles. I ordered a dog kennel from New Mexico, or it turned out it's from New Mexico, but it came and I opened the box and these guys were inside of it. I was like, yay, and put them in my vivarium. It's like, you guys are lucky you got me as the person who unboxed you and not somebody who was like terrified of bugs, because they would have smashed every one of y'all. So let's look at this asphalt ironclad beetle. Asphalt ironclad beetle. You guys need to keep track of these desert beetle names, because whoever named these desert beetle species of like the desert Southwest of North America was a total badass and picked the most awesome common names. Asphalt ironclad beetle. This one has a link into Bug Guide 2, so let's go out there and see what it looks like. Hell yeah, it looks like it does. It looks like wicked heavy metal. Looks like a beetle you would see. It does kind of look like it's covered with asphalt too, like it got dripped, like tar dripped on it. I could see that, like it got tumbled with the gravel and the asphalt, and now it's alive. It's like a living chunk of gravel. Ooh, I wonder if they have the hellburnt ones. I hope so. Y'all love that name. Check this out. I'm going to look for it real quick. I'm going to ignore everything except for what I'm looking for real quick. Okay, so bear with me. There it is. Yes. Our collection will not be complete without a hell-burnt, diabolical ironclad beetle. Hellburnt, diabolical ironclad beetle. Have you ever heard a more metal name than that for a beetle? Seriously, look at that. Look at the... I've had one of these before. Unfortunately, yeah, when you get these, you're not sure how old they are, but it died, and I had a whole box of them, like it wasn't a box, it was one of those little drawer tray things full of desert beetles that I was going to pin and do like a desert beetle thing. I don't know if I still have that or not. So we will get to that, and I maybe have one of these to pin, but I'd love to have one alive in my tank, crawling all over the cacti and skulls and driftwood and stuff that I have in there, and we'll watch that as a hive together and explore that. If you want to hit the the button up there to, or not button, sorry, the link up there in the live chat, and donate. This one's a little more exotic. Ironclad, like I said, so it's a little more exotic. Hellburnt. You pay extra for the hellburnt. As you can see, the hellburnt on this guy. You can see it. You can pretend he's like crawling across my knuckles while I'm talking about something cool. While I'm sitting here. These will be a hell-burnt, diabolical ironclad beetle. Seems like the perfect beetle when I'm up here talking on CryptoCorner about demons or someone opening the gates to hell in their basement or something like that. To have this guy with me, because he's like been there, right? This beetle has been there, done that, and they want more. So it was going to take 2 cups of coffee to buy this beautiful hell-burnt beetle for the desert biome. We could get 2. We could actually get 2. So there's 2 in stock if he'll let us. Sometimes Peter will cut you off and say, nope, no more. You can only have 1 of these. You can't order up all my inventory. Yeah, let's go back because I just wanted to jump ahead and see that. Just to show you guys what kind of awesome sauce we're dealing with here. The other thing that they seem to have in stock right now that intrigues me is these diving beetles. Check these suckers out. $6. So with two Buy Me a Bugs, you could get one. Yeah, you could get 2 of these. Yeah, 2 for buying with some change to spare, with some change to throw. Oh, good, he's got a video. We're gonna watch it. Expand it. With the music, I don't know what that is, but look at these. Rewatch it because I was looking at the menu the whole time. Aw, they're so cool. I like the little paddle legs. I got paddle legs and climby legs. Ooh, look at the little ones with spots. Are those babies or are they different species? Yeah. So we got that. Oh, no, we're not having heart. Sorry. Bet you wanna ambush me. Burn, burn, burn to the wind. Barracuda. I guess I can kind of see why they play Barracuda. That makes sense. I like that there's bones in here too. I'm gonna put bones in my vivarium. Look at them squiggling about and flipping their little flippers. They carry stuff with their little arms. Did you see that? That's so cute. Yeah, there's jigs that look like these for sure. These are a popular prey species, right? There's a girly, what do they call it? Girly wig or whatever. We'll see what they're up here. Let me talk about this though, because they have blue death feeding beetles. You can get a 5-pack for $55. That's a hell of a deal. A 5-pack would be just perfect for the hive. Just perfect to add. You guys know these are my favorite. I think we've definitely got enough to get this. If nothing else, we've got enough to get the 5-pack of this. So as long as they're still available when we do our order stream, we should be all right. Yeah. I can't wait. A 5-pack of desert beetles. Like there's, what kind of music?
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion?
Putting on the Ritz. Ah, you put them on a Ritz cracker. That's gives you a good idea of the size of them too, so that's kind of convenient. The blue, yeah, you can tell what kind of stuff I watch on TikTok. Y'all want to go out and watch the YouTube video about them? So you can actually keep these and the other desert beetles with the giant hairy scorpion too. Keep that in mind. But now, right now, I don't have a lid on my desert biome, and there's live plants in there. If I decide to get a desert hairy scorpion and put him in that particular biome, I will have to put a lid on it. I cannot risk a desert hairy scorpion getting loose in this apartment. That would turn out bad for everybody involved. Yeah, did I look at the diving beetles already? We looked at the blue death feeding beetles. Captive bred desert beetle larvae. Get some cactus wood. Cottonwood stag beetles are out of stock. The desert beetle stampler's out of stock. Even though they have different desert beetles here. Look right here, we have an ironclad beetle. Devil's Claw seed pod. What do you want to think this one's going to look like? Devil's Claw seed pod. He doesn't have a link. Does he have a link to it?
Jesse, you are standing way too close to the light.
Yeah, you can subscribe to.
Some of the bugs are sleeping on you right now.
Let it all come to me. Come to me.
Yeah. That's kind of funny, but noisy. There's a link to a picture. Well, that's not the beetle. That's the seed pod, though. Oh, there's the beetle. No, that's not the beetle. That's... I want a picture of the beetle, babe. Yeah. There we go. Is it the flower? Oh, I thought it was a desert beetle. I'm such a dingus. They were, I guess they're food for the desert beetles. Or, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. After the Beatles, we're going to go watch some comedy. Don't worry. I'm not trying to lose anybody's interest here. We're looking at beetles, and it's fun. They got giant rhino beetle larvae. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if we raised some giant rhino beetles? Oh, look how expensive they are too, though. You got to keep that in mind when you do these big beetles, because big beetles are expensive, and you need to get a whole bunch of them. You need to get, they only have one in stock. That's a problem, because you need to get, in order to do it justice, you need to have a male, or at least 2 males and a female, because the males doing their thing makes the females respond. Did somebody ask how long it's going? Dropping me some bug money? Yeah, it's still going, Pat. I'm just, we're looking at the bugs that we can get if for each donation, like this is going to take a bit. You know, these are $20 beetles. I don't know if I'd buy just one of these though. I don't feel like it would be a good idea. I don't know though. Is it guaranteed? It's not guaranteed to be male or female. So you don't know what this is going to turn out to be. But these beetles are really cool. Eastern Hercules beetles. Let's check them out. That's wicked cool. Ooh. I'm window shopping, yeah, that's a good way to put it. And dancing to this drum beat. Oh yeah. Look how big they are too, that's a human hand. They're pretty massive. Bigger than a quarter. That's the females right there. Cool. She's trying to burrow. Oh my gosh, some of you guys haven't seen my gayest Beatles ever video, have you? Oh my gosh, I'm going to show that to you guys real quick because it's some old school. It was back on the Brain Bug channel, and it was what I had in my hive. Let's see, is that going to be too long? Okay, well, we can watch that. Hold on, here we go. Just a second. Let me pop out of this one real quick, and we'll watch this, and then this is some old-timey brain bug. When I first started my channel, Math Pig was helping me with all my channel stuff. I was kind of finding my footing and my design and my color palette and stuff. So this is early on. Porn music. It's true too. I did have the gayest beetles on YouTube. You will not see gayer beetles. These ones are stag beetles. Yeah. There's that
I actually had to send this to
guy. Check this out. What I'm going to
Dave
do
when I saw it because I was
this.
so hyped
Some of the
about
same
it.
patrons even. Watch what I'm going to do to hide because I don't like looking at that guy.
There we go.
Pretend like I'm doing it
so
all
what's
over
happening
again
here
now.
is I caught another male stag beetle. These two down towards the bottom have been in here trying to get them to mate, trying to get them to have a mating response. They've been touching each other and feeling each other, but they haven't mated. So I found another male when I was doing my light trap outside with some nice big mandibles. Look at those. He's pretty beefy. This is at 3 times speed, by the way. These beetles are extremely slow at this point. But then they started doing their threat display. The 2 males standing on this log doing their threat display, which is really cool. Then old dude here, he dove and kind of burrowed over into the dirt.
Nisha.
Now you see the antenna on the other guy. They're just going nuts. They vibrate. But he sees this guy coming. He smells him. He jumps on him. He tackles him. He's grappling him with his mandibles. I get all excited. I'm like, finally a fight. Because this is what she needs. What gets her in the mood to breed. So then they can fight, and then she'll be wanting to mate. But what the heck's going on here? His genitals are out. He is grabbing onto. He's not grappling with him. He's mounting him, and our male that was in the tank already is taking it, and she is watching. And
yeah, look at them going at
going
it.
to town. Yeah, this is some gay beetle
It's weird.
action caught live
I know,
on
right?
camera. I thought
Good
they were
job,
going
Bri.
to wrestle, but they ended up screwing.
This is good footage there, Brain Bug.
Sorry about the shaky cam. I was super
okay.
excited. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? What is happening? So I had some shaky cam here. It's like the Blair Witch footage for beetles.
It's like this is so
she's
bizarre.
Still watching.
It's like I'm interacting with myself from before. So weird.
Old boy had been mounted. Seems pretty exhausted. He's laid back, and guy on top is kind of collapsed over to the side. I think he's finished off, and she is still just watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at them all collapsed on the side, and they're spooning. Kind of sweet.
They're snuggling.
Kind of sweet.
It's so cute.
Look at them spooning there. Isn't that adorable? All right, so boy goes to sleep.
This is after a while too. They they collapsed like that for like 30 minutes. I had them on my desk. I was sitting there editing the whole time, and they were just like collapsed, spooning like that. And the guy who got his rocks off fell asleep. And then the guy who was getting mounted, the new guy who was getting mounted, sneaks around here and watch what he does.
Our male that lives here sneaks off. And then the male that was asleep comes, wondering where he's going, goes in here and looks, and he sneaks back over there, finds the lady. He's asking her, you saw that? You like that? Are you down for that? Our male who just fired off his is going off over here to crawl in the dirt. But our receiving male is now...
the receiving male. And what kind of title is that, right?
Ready to deliver. Lady is ready to receive. Looks like bringing in the other male for some gay sex got them both in the mood. So now they are getting it on. Yeah, and check this out. Our boy who was in there before sneaking back over for a watch. Oh, I lost the light for a minute, but yeah, he's sneaking under he crawls under the substrate here. He's wanting to get as close as he can to that action.
Getting right up underneath there, isn't he?
He's creeping towards him. Not that they're, I mean, and yes, absolutely. Before anybody says anything, yes, I am anthropomorphizing these. And I'm having fun with it. I do got actual science stuff on this too, though. But we'll get to that in a second. I want to just share this with you. It's just some beetle behavior that is novel to me, but look at that. And again, I apologize for the shaky cam. This is like the kinkiest beetles ever. All right, so where are we here? All right.
And then he's going to go explain.
So, beetles engaging in this behavior is not even uncommon. It's pretty normal for them, actually. And we've done lots of research on why. Why do beetles have sex indiscriminately? There's a few different articles on it. Researchers find evolutionary reasons for homosexual behavior in beetles. And I'm going to read these abstracts over. Okay. Male Aegis chellifer
I was muted. Sorry, guys. Oh. I'll give it a minute to catch up. But yeah, I was talking about these diving beetles. They are $14, but you're limited to one. This one's not as charismatic looking as the striped and spotted ones that they have to offer. To my opinion, anyway, it doesn't have the good. Thank you for letting me know I was muted, guys. I'm sorry, kids. Everybody, it's my fault. Yeah, I muted myself while that was playing. Yeah, sorry about that. I pulled a Nakasuchi. But there's some really pretty diving beetles they have on here as well. Now, I've done the Harlequin beetles. I've ordered those. They kept those in Beetle Haven. They were all right. They were they liked jelly. I had some that I kept on my desk that were cute, and they did mate and stuff. They did try to fly. I kind of wish I'd kept them in a net thing as opposed to keeping them in a container. The good thing about Hive 2.0 is that it's like sealed off. I'm completely sealed off in this room, so I can have mantises free roam. I can have beetles free roam. It's not that big of a deal. Whereas the previous hive, it was very open. So that is a benefit on our side this time around. So just getting it built, getting this hive built is the main thing that I'm after right now. So the Hellburnt Diabolical Ironclad Beetle is our favorite, right? All right, thank you, Deep Arcs. I love you much, sis. Let's see, where are we on the fundraiser? We're getting a lot of wonderful people giving some contribution. Sweet. Thank you so much for everybody who's given us a little bit of love here in the hive. Wow, 5 bugs. That's amazing. 20 bugs? Who did that? Oh my gosh, that's a good starter right there. Oh my gosh, but everybody, it doesn't matter. 1 bug, 5 bugs, 20 bugs, 3 bugs. It doesn't matter. I appreciate everyone who wants to give and participate in this fundraiser. Thank you so much. It's so fun to do this and to pick this stuff out. Please come back when we do the shopping experience, because this is just window shopping right now. And we're almost done with this, and then we're gonna pop over and do some other videos real quick. I guess we did kind of do some stuff with the gay beetles as well. Look at this dung beetle. Isn't that gorgeous? Too bad they don't have them in stock. Jackson Wheat was asking me about these, and I suggested coming here, but unfortunately I don't have the rough death-feeding beetle. They got the smooth ones, though. Look at the smooth ones. That's smooth with a V. They just misspelled it here. It's SMOOV. I used to, when I had my previous tank, I had these is my primary species. I think I had at the time like 12 of these, and then I had I had 5 blue death feeding beetles, 2 black death feeding beetles, 1 hellburnt ironclad beetle, and 3 red velvet ants, all in that tank together. And then I added, which I shouldn't have done, but I didn't know any better at the time, I added millipedes. I added giant desert millipedes. Smaller millipede species might have been all right in this tank. They probably would have been completely underground, but they probably would have been okay. But what I put in here was the giant ones. And even though they live in the desert and have desert in their name, they do need to be the same thing all millipedes need. They need to have a moist, damp, deep place underground to go into when they need to rehydrate their body, because they absorb a lot through their waxy chitin, right? So, and then water loss is a problem for them. We'll just say that. So the 20 bugs inspired me to help. Yeah, 20 bugs. It's easy. It's easy to think about this in terms of individual bugs. Like these ones, $10. So if you pay for 2 bugs, you get a 3rd bug free with this selection. When it comes to these smooth beetles? But yeah, and anyway, back to my millipede story. I ended up desiccating my millipedes. So then I got a different group of millipedes, and I got one that was a Texas chocolate millipede, and I put him in that same tank, and I cut it in half and took half the substrate out of the desert biome and put it looks like a paint tray thing in the bottom of it, and filled that with cocoa fiber and potting soil, and put that down, and then let the sand and leaf litter and stuff, because I put leaf litter in my desert biome too. I just more selective about what type of leaf litter I put in there, but I let it. Ants. So people asking about ants. Ants are kind of a special circumstance. I will look into what it's gonna take to get a working ant farm. Most of the ant farms that I can get here, they don't come with the ants, and you gotta order them separately, and it's a kind of a hassle. But we'll look into that. There's also the best way to order like butterflies and things like that is through those other services. They're through science. Like science classroom services. They're a little bit different. But they have a lot more variety and a lot more bulk stuff too. So we can certainly look at those when we do our shopping day. But yeah, so that's a possibility to spend some money on some ants too if we have enough money. But those are more expensive ventures. But that didn't work either, by the way, is what the moral of the story that I was getting for the beetles. The millipedes, the desert millipedes, they need a place where there's the moisture can be retained and doesn't get absorbed into anything. They don't want a layer of sand on top. Just because they live in the desert doesn't mean they want sand. And that was just my simple-minded thinking at the beginning of doing all this. So you live and learn. There's a learning curve to it all. So there's that and that. And woolly darkling beetle. This is another desert beetle that could go into that desert beetle tank. This one's just a little bit woolly. Let's have a look.
And full of beetles. Woolly darklings. I believe the females tend to be a little larger than the males. Got a great video on the sales page of the website that I took many years ago, where there's a male
you can see the hair when it
riding on the back of a female and have some Western music playing in the background. Quite hilarious. You check it out. These woolly darklings do great in communal tanks with other desert beetles.
I definitely want at least some of these.
Feed very well on dried pet foods, dog food, cat food, different kinds of fish food. Little bits of carrot, little bits of apple. They're not.
So when my desert beetle tank, like I said, I feed them dead insects and veggie scraps. Fish food, I used to feed them. Yeah, but
not picky. They live very well with other desert beetle species, like this ironclad.
So I do see the cheer for doing an ant colony. I am here for it. A little setup. There are some, and I was worried about this with roaches at first too, but the restrictions aren't quite as bad as the roaches as they are for ants for some reason. But what ants you can keep and how many of what species and everything, there's weird regulations on it, so I have to look into that. I really do want an ant farm though. I don't know what species I'd get, but I do love ants.
And the genus is Ophrys. And also these diabolical ironclad beetles.
Diabolical, there he is. Hellburnt.
This is a woolly darkling beetle. They're so fuzzy, covered in this layer of fine orange hairs.
They're so cute. Anyway, yeah, we're going to step away from the window shopping for just a little bit, and I'm going to pull back out to beetles, make sure there weren't any species that we missed. So to the diving beetles, we'll see the woolly beetles, the smooth ones, the rough ones, the hellburnt, the diabolical, the asphalt, the blue death feeding, the black death feeding. Actually, I don't think they had black death feeding this time around. I haven't seen black death feeding beetles on here for a while, though. So that's not. They must not have those in their collections wherever they're collecting these days. Because mostly they're wild caught. But the people who shop at Bugs in cyberspace are people like me. I don't think it's an ecological impact to take these if you're collecting them for scientific preservation purposes, because most of us will pin them or put them in a fluid or something when they die. But maybe I'm just making excuses because I enjoy the hobby too. That's a possibility. I'm not a perfect person. I will, I do have my bias. I'm like, well, this is something I do, so it can't be wrong. But when beetles become mammals, they have hair. So the hair on invertebrates is not actually hair. It's called seta. It's analogous with hair. It's the same stuff that's on spiders. It serves lots of different purposes too. It's sensory perception, so it's like whiskers in that way. But yeah, I have. Let's palate cleanse with some Big Bad Mama. You guys want to do that?
I was hit by a branch on a log right here, cracked one rib, and tore the intercostal muscle.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Are pine trees carnivores? Pine trees and elephants and dogs are related. At some point, the ancestor of whatever that ancestor looked like, diversified, and obviously elephants and dogs and pine trees look different today and behave differently and are now in certainly different species. So Carolus Linnaeus was not aware that a pine tree was different than an elephant. Do you think a 5-year-old could tell the difference between those?
Yeah, I think a 5-year-old doing the old Sesame Street game of one of these things is not like the other could probably pretty easily depict that the pine tree is the odd one out. Would you agree with?
Gosh, I love Aaron. Such a brilliant content creator, in my opinion. I know that some people have issues with his approach, but his approach is definitely different than mine. We don't have the same approach, but I find his knowledge endearing.
With that.
Very good. You're slowly getting it. There's hope. Okay. I think the created kind, let's take the pine tree leopard example here, since we're on that. You believe they had a common ancestor. I do not. I think pine trees, I don't know how many varieties, I didn't look it up. How many pine trees are there? A lot. I mean, there's the loblolly, the longleaf, gee whiz, there's probably 1,000 varieties of pine trees. Now, whether they had a common ancestor.
This is a throwback I swear. And how much? Why is Steve McRae all up in my grill? I did not know when I clicked on this that it was going to be Steve McRae. I knew it was a Big Bad Mama video that I had overlooked recently when I was pulled the one that I wanted to pull earlier today. That I had overlooked this one. So Steve McRae's been all up in my grill. I don't know if y'all followed that on Twitter. Anybody following that drama? I'll talk about it after this video.
Ancestor or not is interesting. I don't know, but let's assume that they did. If we can get 1,000 varieties of pine trees from an original pine tree, that is not evidence that a pine tree and a leopard are related.
I was hit by a branch on a log right here, cracked one rib, and tore the intercostal muscle.
So did Linnaeus think that pine trees and elephants were related? But hold it, an elephant and a pine tree, something happened. One's no longer an animal. So because we both are eukaryotes, therefore elephants and pine trees are related. I'm just completely baffled at how pine trees are made up of cells, all of which, originally, the ones that are still living anyway, have a nucleus. The dead ones, of course, the internal tree, tree no longer has that. But yes, and elephants are made up of cells, and they have nucleus. I could look at that and say, this proves we have a common designer because this system works really good. The squirrel and a pine tree cannot. They're different kinds. Squirrel and an elephant cannot. But I think I could demonstrate that a squirrel and a pine tree are not the same kind. And if you choose to believe they got a common ancestor, that is your religion. There's no evidence for that. No evidence at all. That's a religion you believe in, and that's fine. This is America. You can have any religion you want, but you should admit it's a religion and quit calling it science. That's not science. Okay, let's see if we can cross an elephant and a pine tree. Let's get the sperm or egg of an elephant and the pollen from a pine tree and see if we can get them to produce something. Or let's look at let's see, can they, the Bible says they will bring forth after their kind. If we start with 7,000 kinds of animals, can we get them to interbreed? You put birds in the same kind as pine trees.
Okay, yeah, they're both eukaryotes. So your experiment by taking the egg of an animal, a mammal, and combining that with a pine tree, having no recollection to the fact that we're talking about animals on one side and plants on the other, you think that this verification of evolutionary law somehow refutes evolutionary law and instead supports the magic imaginary friend theory?
Aaron, this original cell that you say became the ancestor of the whales and the pine trees, elephant and pine tree. Elephants are different than pine trees.
Agreed. Hive, are you with us so far? Are you following Dr. Hovind? Elephants are different than pine trees.
I'm saying God created elephants and pine trees separately. You think elephants and pine trees are the same kind. Okay, if you think an elephant and a pine tree are the same kind of life form, you can put a reason behind drawing a line between a pine tree and an elephant. Did I answer the question that an elephant and a pine tree are different kinds? And he right away changed it to say elephant and mammoth.
I tell you what.
I said elephant and pine tree. Did Aaron demonstrate that a pine tree and a whale or elephant are related?
I was hit by a branch on a log right here, cracked one rib, and tore the intercostal muscle. There it is. So, went to the emergency yesterday. They said, you messed it up. Yep. This chart behind. Oh, wait a minute. I broke my rib a couple days ago. Turn slowly. Okay. It'll remind you right away when you shouldn't make certain movements. Yeah.
I bet. Yeah.
Don't make that movement.
Sounds
okay.
Painful. So, did he break his rib, or was he making himself another Mrs. Hovind, the biblical way? All right. Well, it is now 10 o'clock. The drive be coming to a close. Yeah, I say Dr. Hovind with the tongue-in-cheek, right? You're not. Oh, I can't even do it right. I promise I'll try better. Goodness. Goodness, yeah. Thank you so much for turning up and sticking in here with everybody. Now we got pretty much the same amount of viewers now as when we first started, and we peaked out around, I think it was around 30 or pretty close to 30. I'd call this thing a win. I got lots of good donations. Somebody want to add these up for me? I'm going to read them off. And I'm not going to say any names right now. I may do a thank you post later, but for right now, I'm just going to add numbers. So somebody get out your calculator, because we're going to take this number and we're going to multiply it times 5, okay? Are you wanting to keep going, Native Atheist? I am still going for just a little bit longer while I calculate this stuff up and do my clothing. While jumping spider for the win. We'll see. We'll see if we can find a place that has jumping spiders too. We need to do that. A Lucas plushie. I want a jumping spider plushie, like a lifelike one. That place that makes the giant tarantulas that I always want to put on my bed. They make big jumping spiders that are about like stuffed animal size. I'd love to have one. I have a mantis that's that size, but the mantises are a little bit more leggy. So I have a baby mantis, and take good care of it. Good little mantis. All right. So let's add this up. Who's doing the math for me? All right, I'm going to start going through it. So somebody keep the numbers. I usually assign this to Ring, but Ring's not here. Stephanie, you're my new managing moderator, so you get to add for me. You get to math. All right, Stephanie, this is all on you now. Let me refresh this to make sure we're getting up to date and getting the most the most recent support that I've gotten. All right, and this is just where we are right now. This is no means me saying that I'm going to close this down. I'm going to mention it left and right and for the next week until Live from the Hive, when we're going to total everything up with this in the patron dollars and see how much we have to spend to build the Hive. If we need to replace the shelving that I have back here, that's fine. There's other places we can use this shelf in this apartment. I'll tell you that right now. If I need to get new shelving and we got enough money to do that, definitely. If we find an ant farm that we like, yeah, we're going to do this solid. There are things that there are things that are going to have to change and be rearranged a bit behind me, but hopefully we make it all look pretty. Here's the math, though. Okay, so we got 1, 3, 1, 1, 5, 5, 3, 1, 1, 1, 5, and then 20. Somebody donated 20. All right. So let's. Wow, 235. That's crazy because if it's 235, like Regios says. I always hope I'm saying your name right and it's got the soft G and not the hard G. Regios doesn't sound right to me though. Regios is what sounds right in my head. And I still have my baby mantis here. Should I just start holding it on the stream like it's my baby all the time? Like I'm talking to my infant child. You like puppeteer it without making it look like I am. Yeah, I could start doing that. That'd be fun. Like a puppet master. All right, so what do you all think, though? With the water tank, we could do diving beetles. I didn't even get to look at scorpions or centipedes or anything yet tonight. We'll have to dig in more into that. The next stream, we're going to do all. Reggie, yeah. The 20 was from you, Native Atheist. You're so sweet. Yep, 235. So we hit our goal. We actually exceeded our goal by an extra bug. So that'll give us the time. I'm going to try to. So in Hive 1.0, there was. Oh, baby mantis escaped. In Hive 1.0, there was a certain direction I was going for with the way things were laid out and whatnot. I wanted to make my containers and stuff that I was using, things that people could find and use at home. There's a lot of, also because I wanted to, I was on a budget there too. I had a lot more money then than I do now, but I was on a budget. So I did try to present a lot of ways that you can make viable, healthy ecosystems for your arthropets from household containers and stuff like that. And I had planned to do tutorials on it, but I just never got around to it. Would that be something you guys would be interested in watching me do? Is that like a task that you'd actually be interested in viewing? So I was talking about like taking pieces of like packaging from like what that has plexiglass on it and stuff, and making little jumping spider vivariums and things out of it with that, and hot glue and cardboard frames, or even plastic frames. You can make frames. You can make plexiglass frames from straws. What you do is just you make the right angle. You cut the straw, cut a third of the straw off the top, and then you put the two sides right at a right angle in there, and you put a strip of glue in there. You can make a nice little jumping spider cube, or you can make a hexagon too. I've seen people do that as well. So yeah, 3.5 hours is way longer than Bree ever streams Germania. I don't usually stream so long. Ger, I appreciate you showing up though. I'm just closing down things now. I'm starting to get hungry, so I'm probably going to go find something to eat. It's a little late here. It's 10 o'clock, which isn't too bad. I knew I was going to... I like repurposing things. It's fun, especially if it looks good. The only thing that I have here for my repurposed stuff, because most of this is all just old aquariums and stuff people give me, which I repurpose into vivariums as well, but is this specimen jar up here. This is a specimen jar that when this funeral home in Hannibal, Missouri, the home of Mark Twain, this funeral home closed down, right? And they did a auction, and they got this. My mom got this specimen jar. I think it was my mom. Anyway, it's really cool. I cut everything in the top of it. It's perfect for like the black hole spider. Things that don't want a whole bunch of ventilation. So that's why I don't like a lot of glass, which is why I want to replace as much of these vivariums as I can. I want to replace with probably something with like the box style ones with the plexiglass fronts. I just got to figure out how I want to do it and make sure I do it right. Don't cut corners and things like that. So yeah, Gur, you're late. You're lucky I didn't make you calculate and add up the money that we got. I appreciate everybody who donated though, and it's still open, so you can still contribute. You can still give your support to the Hive, and for those of you that are patrons who also donated, you're doubly loved by the Hive, because the money that's in the Patreon that's also going to go towards this it's all together. It's all together, all from you. You doubly paid me to keep doing this. You make me feel like I'm actually doing something worthwhile. So thank you so much, and thank you everybody for tuning in tonight and hanging out with me in the Hive. I'm gonna go eat something and bounce around on some YouTube streams. If anybody's streaming this late on a Sunday, I don't know. Let's see what's going on. I'll promote somebody. Let's see here. All right, so I have a couple options for you. it looks like Joel Duff is premiering. It's got 25 viewers right now. He is, What's the Obsession with Creationism, which is part of my obsession too. So let me go check that out. If you're not into that kind of stuff, Deep Drinks Podcast is going right now with pastor to porn star Nicolette Mitchell. Yeah, and then Atheist Republic is going. Poisoning of schoolgirls in Iran. Autistic teen threatened with death for dropping a Quran. And if you're more on the woo-woo side, I have Long Island Bigfoot Bamboo Forest Twilight. Here, let me share what I'm looking at here. Y'all want to see what kind of stuff comes up in my feed. And this is my actual feed, not even Dennis's. So, yeah, Long Island Bigfoot, which is one of my friends from the Squatch community. And then, yeah, Spaced Out Radio. Sometimes I'll look in there if they have something new, some kind of new sighting or something. Not anything I watch regularly, but it's there. There's Joel Duff. Deep Drinks, and Atheist Republic. So go find yourself something fun to watch. Yeah, and thank you for joining us in the Hive tonight. Can we talk about Calvinism now? I have a video. Did you all see my video? Yeah, you did. If you've been here for the stream, you did. But I got more coming from all the shenanigans and gurs last night. But please remember to be kind, take care, and I will see you next time.